At Citi Field in New York, Pix 11 presents New York Mets baseball today. Today the Mets play the Washington Nationals. New York Mets baseball is brought to you by Hyundai. Head to your Hyundai dealer and make this a winning season at home and on the road. By Spectrum, join America's fastest growing TV, internet, and voice provider. By Lexus, experience amazing. By Heineken, open your world. Enjoy Heineken responsibly. By Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center, more science, less fear. And by Land Rover, above and beyond. Well, after the Mets had a stunning win against the Cubs on Wednesday night, the Nationals came to town and things have not gone well for the home side. Max Scherzer did his thing last night, and Scherzer was at the top of his game. 8 strong innings, 10 strikeouts as the Nats beat the Mets for the second straight night. And even some Mets who had been hot find their bats a little bit cooled down right now as the Mets try and make some headway against the top team in the division. And a pleasant good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Citi Field. Gary Cohen, Ron Darling with you today as the Mets play Game 3 of their 4-game series against the Nationals. While the Mets are hurting, and both in the standings and on the disabled list, they've had one shining light in their lineup who has really carried the load, and that has been Jay Bruce. And after all the uncertainty of the offseason for Jay, he has been really at the top of the charts for the Mets offensively this year.
Well, last night with a ringing shot to right field for his 18th home run. Well, offensively, what you're looking for from your superstars is a guy that's going to have a steady, consistent approach all year long. No one's been steadier or more consistent than Jay Bruce.
He'll be in the 3-hole today, again behind Conforto and Cespedes, as the Mets try and group their best hitters at the top of the lineup in support of Seth Lugo, who makes his second start of the season after a very successful season debut in Atlanta.
You know, it's amazing. These Mets pitchers who come off the DL, they just look so good. And Lugo had all of his pitches working. That great curveball that we know about, he didn't really use it, or at least used it sparingly against Atlanta, but used all of his pitches, including the cutter and the changeup.
Stephen Strasburg last year got off to a 13-0 start. He was pitching brilliantly this year until his last start.
Well, last start gave up 6 earned runs, but he had those 10 strikeouts. He's gone 7 innings or more in 8 of his 13 starts, and he's great here at Citi Field with a 6-1 record.
Everybody in baseball wearing the light blue trim for Father's Day weekend as the Mets and Nationals. The rain has stopped. The baseball is ready to begin. All the action coming your way on Pix 11. With internet speeds up to 4 times faster. Tomorrow is a McDonald's Family Sunday. The Mets take on the Nats at 1:10. The first 15,000 fans in attendance will receive a Mets Father's Day cap presented by Nathan's Famous. Plus, all kids 12 and under can run the bases after the game in the Mr. Met Dash, courtesy of Northwell Health. For tickets, visit Mets.com/Family Sundays. Themes of the game brought to you by Hyundai. Better drives us, and a tribute to the late Adam West.
Yeah, straight from Gotham City, Daniel Murphy. Everyone knows, if you're a Mets fan, what he's done since leaving the Mets. This is a great stat, right? Last 8 games started by Lugo, the Mets have won. And Strasburg, like the rest of the starting staff for the Washington Nationals, they are going deep in the ball games.
Seth Lugo ready for his 2017 Citi Field debut. The Mets and the Nats. First pitch is coming right up. Is just fantastic. The World Series champion Mets on the Ed Sullivan Show. I like how they use their full names.
That was great. Some misspelled, but that's how it goes.
Well, Mets can only hope for an invitation that bright sometime in the future.
The 69 team speaking to the 17 team. You got to have some heart.
By the way, first time I've seen Jerry Grody smile before or since.
That's right. And Nolan Ryan didn't look too happy being in there, by the way.
Probably wanted to knock him down. Nationals lineup brought to you by Lexus. Experience amazing. Anthony Rendon moves up to the 2 spot on the lineup. Adam Lynn starts in left field for the first time in the series. Day off for Matt Wieters. Jose Lobaton behind the plate for the Nats, who've been opened up a 10-game lead in the National League East over the Marlins. The Mets 10.5 behind. Trey Turner getting ready in the on-deck circle to face Seth Lugo.
Well, he was outstanding, of course, against Atlanta in his first start of the season after coming off the disabled list. 11 swing and misses against the Braves for Lugo. And Mets defense is brought to you by Nissan. Cespedes, Conforto, and Bruce in the outfield. And into the infield, Flores, Reyes, Rivera, Duda. They're going to have to be much better than they've been in the first 2 games of this series. And Rene Rivera behind the plate.
Trey Turner set to lead off, 1 for 10 in this series, getting a .261 for the year. And Seth Lugo's first Citi Field pitch of 2017 is outside for ball 1. Lugo made his first start of the year in Atlanta on Sunday. 7 terrific innings, allowed just 1 run and 6 hits. A 2-1 Met win. Turner lofts one to deep left field. Back goes Cespedes to the warning track, looking up, and it's out of here. Trey Turner leads off the game with his 7th home run of the year. 3rd time this week the Mets have been victimized by a leadoff home run in the first inning, and the Nationals instantly have the lead. Anthony Rizzo did it twice in the series against the Cubs, and now Turner hits the 2nd pitch of the game out of the park.
You know, it's amazing that Turner is one of those guys that's wiry, strong, doesn't have to do much, but he gets that bat head out in front, and really a one-arm swing produces the home run.
3rd leadoff home run for Turner this year, the 5th of his career, and just like that, the Nats again have the early lead. Now Anthony Rendon, who has homered in this series, hit a 2-run shot last night to the opposite field against Steven Matz, one of the 3 home runs Matz allowed in that series. The Nats have now hit 104 home runs this year. That's the best in the National League. The Mets have 98, close behind. And Rendon takes a strike, and it's 1-1. First run of the game brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts. America runs on Dunkin'. And that's grounded out to Reyes at short. And he throws out Rendon for the first out of the day. So 1 away, and Bryce Harper coming up. Harper's 4 for 9 in this series, including a home run in the opening game of the series on Thursday night. By the way, we mentioned Anthony Rizzo and his 2 leadoff home runs. It looked like he should have had another one last night in Pittsburgh. It was originally ruled a home run right down the right field line and into the Allegheny River, and then they overturned it on replay. And Harper lines one to center field. That's falling fast in front of Conforto for a 1-out hit. So Harper has his 5th hit in the series.
You and I both saw the home run, and it went over the foul pole. So a very difficult call for the umpires. This is the same hit that Harper has gotten 3 different times in this series. It's a sinking fastball away. He doesn't get all of it off the end of the bat and dumps it into the outfield. But it was over the foul pole. Very difficult call for the umpire down the first base line. And he called it fair, and they overturned it in Chelsea, a ball that was over the foul pole. Very
I don't know how they overturned it, and Joe Madden argued and got himself ejected in the first inning as a result, which, you know, considering the really not very attractive retro uniforms that they were wearing, I can understand. In fact, the uniforms were so unusual. They had white sleeves, and they had to cut off the sleeves for the starting pitcher,
Eddie Butler, because the opposition complained about his uniform. He's like, what do you want from me? They told me to wear this uniform. It has the white sleeves. Right. So they literally cut the sleeves off him on the field before he threw his first pitch.
Well, you can't have a white baseball coming out of white sleeves any more than you're allowed to wear a white glove.
I would go in the dugout. I mean, don't cut the sleeves off me while I'm standing in the field in front of 40,000.
Rough beginning for Lugo. He faces Daniel Murphy with 1 out and 1 on. Murphy hitting cleanup today. And Lugo gets away with a high breaking ball, and it's 1-2. Murphy is 4 for 8 in the series, now hitting .393 lifetime against his old employer. He has now reached base in every game he has played against the Mets, 27 of them over the last 2 years.
There's Harper's spikes. See, if you're one of the best players in the game, you can just get the best spikes too.
Well, that is the operative color for this weekend. And Murphy pops one up on the infield. Duda coming to the mound, and who's going to take charge of it? It's Flores climbing the hill, and he gets it for the second out. Can't be easy for an infielder to come up on the mound like that to make a play.
You know, I've always thought what you try to do if you're an infielder, and it's not always easy, is you try to get to the top of the hill if you can and work your way back, but it's not always easy. And the one thing that helps that play is if you do drop the ball, you always have a force.
So 2 out, Harper still at first, and now here's Ryan Zimmerman, still leading the league and hitting at .361, 2 for 9 in this series. And it's hit sharply, a 1-hopper to Reyes, and the force play ends the inning. But Trey Turner gets the Nationals off to another fast start. Leadoff home run, 1-0 Nationals as the Mets come to bat. Steven Strasburg throwing in his warm-up pitches. Jose Lobaton, the catcher, and Nick Lentz, the home plate umpire, carrying on a conversation. You picking that up, Ronnie?
I didn't, but it's something a veteran catcher like Lobaton would certainly know, even though it's a young umpire, Nick Lentz.
Mets lineup brought to you by Land Rover Above and Beyond. For the second straight day, Cespedes sits in the 2-hole as Terry Collins tries to bunch his best hitters at the top. Rene Rivera in the lineup for the first time in this series as the Mets face Strasburg.
You know, we were talking about him in the open about how many pitches he's thrown per start. He's thrown as high as 119, and 11 out of his 13 starts he's thrown 100 or more, which is not how you would really think of Strasburg.
Well, the Nationals have pushed their starters further along than any team in the National League this year by far, in part because, well, they've got a strong starting staff, but also because their bullpen has struggled so much. Michael Conforto 0 for 4 in this series, 2 for his last 23, and he takes low and inside from Strasburg. In fact, 4 of the 5 National League pitchers averaging the most pitches per start all play for the Nationals. Scherzer's number 1, Roark's number 2, Gio's number 3, and Strasburg's number 5 in terms of average pitches thrown per start.
So Dusty Baker's going all old school with his Washington Nationals, taking them back to the early 80s with the Dodgers.
Well, the question is, Are all of those guys capable of handling that workload for a full season?
Don't know that. Yeah,
we don't. But you look at a guy like Scherzer, he has a track record of doing it. The others do not. Conforto taps one softly. In to get it is Zimmerman. The shovel to Strasburg in time for the out. Nicely done for the 3-1 putout.
Well, you see the defense brought to you by your Tri-Honda dealer. AT NYN has played 3 games in the outfield this year. Hadn't played in the outfield since 2010. Rendon, Turner, Murphy, and Zimmerman, like Keith said yesterday, as good as it gets. Lobaton, the veteran, getting the start behind the plate.
Now Cespedes. Yesterday hit second in the order for the first time in a couple of years. Went 0 for 3. This is his 8th game since coming off the disabled list, and he has swung the bat well for the most part. Terry Collins says that when Asdrubal Cabrera comes back from the disabled list, which shouldn't be too far away, he will reconsider his batting order. But for now, he figures Cespedes in the 2-hole gives him the best shot. And why wouldn't you want Cespedes to get more at bats?
Well, of course. I mean, it didn't work yesterday, but you know, that's a heck of a pitcher. And again, you're facing, you know, one of the elite right-handers in all of the game.
Strasburg now 28 years old, 76 big league wins, 43 losses, and one off his foot from Cespedes. Rendon with the bare hand play, but too late. Cespedes ran hard and beat it out for an infield hit.
I think it got him on the bottom of the foot, Gary.
And no damage. It came off his shoe just from the sound of it.
Well, he's got a big shoe anyway. I think 15 plus. I think it gets off the bottom of the shoe. See how it hit? Right off the bottom of the spike. Caromed over, and Cespedes smelled the hit.
Well, it's one of the few times that Yoenis has had to run hard since coming back from the hamstring injury and the subsequent heel problem, and seemed to handle it just fine.
Keeps getting his hits too, doesn't he?
Yep. 8 for 20 now since coming off the DL. So here's Jay Bruce, who's the Mets' hottest hitter right now. 8 for 19 on this homestand. Hit his 18th home run last night. 1 out and 1 on, and Jay takes a fastball strike.
Watch Cespedes running to first base. Smells that hit. Stride is nice, and beats it out.
No damage.
Fingers crossed.
You know, no damage is a victory these days.
Right.
The skies are brightening after all the rain we had earlier in the afternoon. And Jay drives one to right center, falling fast. Harper off the plate on a hop. Cespedes digging for second, arrives there safely, and Bruce has a base hit. Cespedes had to hold up just on the off chance Harper might get there. Boy was able to hustle his way into second, and Bruce has another hit.
That's twice Cespedes has been pushed in this inning to use his legs. Jay Bruce got jammed just a bit and dumped it in front of Harper. And Cespedes being pushed, he went halfway like you're supposed to, stalled, and then had to turn it on. Harper's got 50 assists in his career, looking for 51.
Tied for the league lead with 6 this year, and Cespedes stretching out that leg. So 2 aboard for Wilmer Flores. Wilmer's bat has cooled down, just 2 for his last 20 after a long hot streak. But back in the cleanup spot tonight, he takes the breaking ball outside. Jay Bruce's Who's Hot, brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Average up over 270 now, and had been down in the 240s just a few days ago. Wilmer's 1 for 8 in this series, at a home run 2 nights ago. And Strasburg behind 2-0. Well, we said it about Scherzer last night when the Mets had an opportunity against him in the second inning. You want to get these elite pitchers, get them early. And the Mets with a first inning chance after falling a run behind. Strasburg coming off a rough outing against the Braves his last time out, 6 runs in 5 innings, but he has been pitching extremely well up until that point. And Flores fouls one back, 2-1. Is throwing in the bullpen, I would think, preparatory to his next start.
Yeah, he probably couldn't throw because of the rain before the game today. So, I mean, I haven't seen it rain in Queens like that for that long in some time.
And it really wasn't supposed to rain today, but it poured for 2.5 hours. But it stopped about 90 minutes ago. Plenty of time to get the field ready for the game. Breaking ball pulled foul. You know, it used to be with the old stadiums before they developed such good drainage. If you got that kind of downpour a couple of hours before the game, the field might be unplayable. Well, now the water just disappears.
That's why they had so many AstroTurf fields in the Northeast, is because that way you could counter all the rain, especially those regional teams where people drive 4 or 5 hours to the game.
Talking about the Reds and the Cardinals, things like that. Cespedes at second, Bruce at first with 1 out. 2-2 to Flores. And Wilmer hits a double play ball right to Murphy. The flip to Turner. 4-6-3 double play. Side retired. Nats turned 3 double plays behind Scherzer last night. They get one in the first inning for Strasburg. Northwell Health look north. Pirates fell to the Cubs last night on a 6-run 9th inning. Alex Wood has been brilliant through his 12 starts for the Dodgers. He had 8 strong innings last night, beating the Reds 2-1. And Anthony Senzatella for the Rockies, one of 4 rookies in their rotation. Now his 9th win after the Rockies outlasted the Giants last night 10-8.
In a classic Coors Field game.
Here's Adam Lynn playing left field today, leading off in the 2nd inning against Seth Lugo. Lynn, 33-year-old veteran who played in Seattle last year, hit .239 last year for the Mariners, and 110 points higher for the Nationals. Starting his 19th game, and as Ronnie mentioned, his 4th in the outfield after not playing any outfield at all for 7 years. But Dusty wants to get his bat in the lineup today. They're filling in for the injured Jason Worth, and Lynn gets the start in left field.
Well, the biggest catch last night for Scherzer and the Nationals was Ryan Rayburn in left field, who started as an infielder in his career, has been now in the outfield like Lynn, and made a fantastic play down the line.
Michael Taylor on deck, then Jose Lobaton against Lugo in the 2nd. That's on the outside corner. Lugo gets him looking. 94 on the black for his first strikeout of the day.
Interesting thing about when you watch Seth Lugo, his first fastball to Lind was 88 miles an hour. His last one to strike him out was 94. He's one of those guys that will not change speeds on his fastball, but he'll add when he's trying to go for that punch out.
It's like an old school pitcher in that regard. You know, more like we used to watch Levon Hernandez do that all the time. Here's Michael Taylor. He's homered in each of the first 2 games of this series, and takes a big riff, and that one caught the home plate umpire Nick Lentz.
Right on the hand or wrist. He's trying to shake it off. He says he's fine.
On the forearm. Right near that blue wristband that he's wearing.
Wow.
Might be right on the wristband.
Right on the wristband. You know, the umpires, to get the best look they can, just put themselves entirely exposed to foul balls, and tough as nails to shake it off.
Your umpiring crew, second straight day that we've had a very young home plate umpire. Trip Gibson last night, Nick Lentz today. Brian Gorman is the crew chief for this unit. Rene Rivera with the masked men fraternity going out to the mound to give Lentz a moment to feel better.
Not for nothing, Lentz. Hide behind Rene for one pitch.
Well, you know, in the old days, remember when the American League and National League had separate umpiring crews? The American League umpires would wear the bubble chest protector, the outside chest protector, and they would look straight over the head of the catcher.
That's right.
And they were much better protected because they had the catcher between themselves and the baseball. Now everybody sets up to the inside of the catcher, so they're much more exposed.
Much more exposed, a little more difficult to see the outside part of the plate.
But they sure can see that inside corner.
They can. It's right at them. I think being a young umpire is probably like being a young player. You got to shake it off. You know, you can't show the older umpires that you can't take a knock.
Back-to-back strikeouts for Lugo to start the second inning. 2 men down.
You know, when Seth Lugo's on, he has a nice ability to know where he is in the count and to expand the strike zone. Starts that ball right on the corner to Taylor, ends up about 6 to 8 inches outside.
So 2 out and nobody on. Now Jose Lobaton, the backup catcher, getting his 19th start of the season, and as you can see, he has not hit much. Not only hasn't he hit much, but for a first place team that's 15 games over 500, when Lobaton starts, they are 5-13 this year. That'll make you feel bad. But he cracks one to deep right field, and that ball is gone. How about that? Into the second deck. Lobaton's second home run of the year. And the Nationals have gone deep twice in the first 2 innings, and they've got a 2-0 lead. And if memory serves, didn't he hit his first home run against the Mets as well?
I just asked Dave Freed if his first home run was against the Mets. I thought it was too. So he hasn't done much, but there's something big there. And the home run ball again is just killing these Mets starting pitchers. A little slider right in the middle of the plate, like it's on a tee, and boy, upper tank for Lobaton.
Now Mats gave up 3 home runs last night. Gesellman 2 home runs the night before that. Harvey gave up 3 in the last game against the Cubs, and now Lugo's already been touched for a couple.
Well, contact perfect out in front of the plate, head down on the ball. I mean, you can't throw a better pitch for a left-handed hitter.
Now Strasburg bangs one up the middle, and he's got a base hit, his 4th hit of the season. We have confirmation, by the way. Lobaton's first home run this year came against Matt Harvey.
See? Jeez.
He's only driven in 2 runs all year. Home runs against Harvey and now against Lugo, and now Strasburg adds this hit.
You know, last night's game, Steven Matz got through the first 6 hitters, and then the 7th and 8th hitter got him for 2 solo shots. Strasburg's a good hitter, always has been.
So 2-out base runner for Trey Turner, who opened this game by hitting the second pitch Lugo threw for a home run. And a first pitch fastball in the corner. Well, on the positive side of things, Seth Lugo's history is he gets better from here. Starting his second time through the order, Turner bluffs the bunt and lays off it 1-1.
Well, they've got such pop in this lineup. I guess a 2-out bunt for a hit might work. I wouldn't be bunting after hitting a leadoff home run, though.
Well, we did see a game earlier this week when Asdrubal Cabrera hit 2 home runs and then bunted, but that was special circumstance because he was batting from the other side and his thumb hurt too much to swing the bat right-handed, which is why he wound up on the disabled list the next day. There's a good slider by Lugo, and it's 2-2. Seth is going to be around the strike zone, and as a consequence, They're putting the ball into play early in the count against them. 5 of the first 9 batters saw only 1 or 2 pitches. Two to Turner, and he struck him out with a sinker. So Lugo strikes out 3 in the inning, but in between, Jose Lobaton hits the second home run of the day against Lugo, and it's 2-0 Nats.
Down on the farm in Tidewater, the Mets were assembling a devastating group of talented minor leaguers who would soon arrive at Shea. There was outfielder Darryl Strawberry, the nation's #1 draft pick in 1980, and overpowering Dwight Gooden, a pitcher with awesome potential. Ron Darling, acquired from Texas for Lee Mazzilli, helped as the Davy Johnson-led Tides won the Minor League World Series in 1983.
I like that they had the racing stripes even on the Tides uniforms back then, Ronnie.
You know, I know it's bucket hat day today. How about our bucket hats in Norfolk?
Well, those were the bicentennial hats that everybody in baseball wore in 1976. The Pirates kept them, and the Tidewater Tides kept them for years afterward.
You know what's funny about that is that just watching me throw there, by the time I got to the major leagues, like a year and a half later, my mechanics were totally different. Changed them completely because that wasn't working. Funny. It's like.
And that's from 1983. That's right. That's the year you came up.
By 85, middle of 85, I had changed them.
Lucas Duda leads off the home second against Steven Strasburg. 2-0 Nationals, and Duda fouls one away. Lucas has cooled down. Mets had some red hot hitters for a while. Flores and Conforto and Duda, but they all stopped hitting. Lucas 0 for 7 in this series, 2 for his last 26. Curveball from Strasburg is in for a strike, and it's 0-2.
Strasburg with that beard looks like he could be on Lincoln's cabinet, right? Those old time.
Or guiding a buggy through Amish country.
Oh yeah, that might be a better call.
And Duda strikes out on the changeup. First strikeout for Strasburg, who has more strikeouts than any national since they moved to Washington. Let's check in with Steve Gelb. Steve.
Well, Gary, yesterday we were talking about how Steven Matz has pretty much gone away from the slider this season in an attempt to try and keep that elbow healthy. It's something Steven Strasburg is doing as well. He mentioned it in the offseason, trying to shy away from the slider, and this is something that we've seen now through the first part of the year. He's only throwing his slider about 7% of the time. Last year, by comparison, threw it 17% of the time.
Of course, the other adjustment Strasburg's made this year is pitching out of the stretch all the time, which is pretty radical for a starting pitcher. See how that slider usage has gone down. Curveball usage has gone up.
You know, you see us a couple of pitchers who have, you know, Syndergaard, Arrieta, guys who start off in this position and kind of step back and go, but straight from the stretch from Strasburg and others.
TJ Rivera 2 for 7 in this series, getting another start at second base.
It's very rare in my day for a guy to have 4 pitches. What you'd have is a fastball, a breaking ball you could throw 2 different ways, and then a changeup, split finger, or whatever.
And then you had the guys like Gooden who needed only 2 pitches.
You know, he was so good. It's just a whole different thing. But like Scherzer last night, he had 2 kind of breaking balls, right? That we documented. Threw a big one for a strike, and then that hard one when he wanted to strike out.
Well, but you also did a game last week with Yu Darvish. Who throws what, 8 pitches?
That's right.
TJ hits one deep to left center, but should be playable for Taylor, and that's the second out.
Yu was fun to watch. I've watched him a couple of times, but live. But I think the times I watched him before, he was a little hurt, and he wasn't hurt the last start against the Mets.
So this is the part that I didn't understand, though, sitting and watching at home on TV. How does the catcher call 8 different pitches?
He doesn't. What he has to do is just rely on his skills to be able to react to a different kind of breaking ball, a slow one. Like he's only going to put 2 down on a curveball at 69 to 89.
So he might get the eephus pitch, or he might get the hard curve.
Doesn't know.
Jose Reyes homered last night, the only run that Scherzer gave up. 4th home run of the year for Reyes, who's 2 for 6 in this series. It is a little odd to be watching a game where both teams are wearing the same colors.
It is.
Everybody in baseball is wearing this light blue color for Father's Day. It's something that baseball has done a little bit in past years. You know, pink for Mother's Day, blue for Father's Day, Memorial Day, 4th of July, but they've expanded it.
Yeah.
Maybe beyond the realm of what is reasonable. They're wearing the Father's Day uniforms for 2 days. They wore the Memorial Day uniforms for 3 days. They're going to wear the July 4th uniforms for 4 days.
Wow. Where are they, in Washington for those games?
Home and then Washington.
Okay.
Yeah. Of course, we have the 11 a.m. game on July 4th.
Oh, I can't wait for that one.
2-2 to Reyes.
That's like Patriots Day game that they have at Fenway Park on the Marathon Day.
The other thing they're doing tomorrow for Father's Day is, instead of a normal red stitched ball, they're going to have a blue stitched baseball that they're using.
All right, camera guys, you got to get a shot of that tomorrow. Slow mo.
2-2 coming, and Reyes fouls back. My first thought when I read that was, how does that affect hitters' ability to detect spin? In other words, they're used to looking for red, and now they have to look for blue. Does that change the visual recognition of a pitch at all?
I don't know. I would think that every team would get a bushel of those balls so they could practice with them in batting practice or whatever.
2-2 coming, and the curveball slapped to shortstop. Turner on the backhand and throws out Reyes, and Strasburg has a 1-2-3 bottom of the second. On to the third at Citi Field, 2-0 Nats. bad weather earlier today are still hanging around and obliterating the top of the Empire State Building.
Yes, they are.
It's probably not a good day for going to the top and getting a good view.
There's someone there, though, you know. There's always someone there.
Well, there would be anyway, but because of an affair to remember and Big.
That's right.
Or no, not Big. Sleepless in Seattle.
That's right.
People, you know, they want to replicate the denouement of those movies.
There you go. Nice.
Anthony Rendon grounded to short his first time up, and he rockets one in the left field for a base hit. Cespedes able to cut it off, and he'll hold Rendon to a single, starting the third inning. So Rendon has his 5th hit in this series, almost as many as he had in one game against the Mets back in April.
That sinker in that he struck out Trey Turner on, this one up just enough for Rendon to handle. Rendon's very quick inside. Remember, in this series they got Rendon out a couple of times inside. He makes adjustments in game and for the next game.
Here's Harper, who singled to center his first time up. Look at what Bryce is doing this year, and he's very much replicating what he did 2 years ago when he won MVP honors. You know what's different this year? He's got a couple of guys in the lineup with him doing the same thing with Zimmerman and Murphy. That's hit out to right, and Bruce is right there waiting for it. Harper retired 1 out, Rendon back to first.
Harper just missed that one. He was just a little quick.
I mean, if you get to the end of the year and you're an MVP voter, and these guys, this lineup for the Nats is doing what they're doing now, how do you differentiate?
You won't be able to. Someone might sneak in the back door if someone has a big year. Harper, he's mad at himself. He knows he missed the pitch.
That's what he did 2 years ago. Certainly on a better RBI pace this year. He's already got 51, far less than half a season. Murphy popped up his first time up. This is Murph's 28th game against the Mets. He's reached base safely in all 27. There are only 3 other players who've reached base safely in their first 25 games against the Mets. Eddie Matthews,
wow,
which was right from the start of Mets history because he was with the Milwaukee Braves then, 62 and 63. That's it down the line. Murphy's got an extra base hit. Rendon races for third as Bruce tries to play the carom. They'll wave Rendon home. T.J. Rivera with the throw to the plate. Rivera's tagged too late. Rendon scores on the double by Murphy to make it 3-0 Washington.
They are just relentless. Each hitter that comes up is as dangerous as the last. Lobaton got a spinning slider, so did Murphy. Same pitch. Lobaton hit it out of the park. Nice play by Bruce here to hit the cutoff man, and Rivera with the throw to the plate. Accurate, a little on the right side, so Rivera had to reach across his body. Rendon has good speed, not great speed. And we've seen Bob Henley's been real aggressive from that third base coaching position and just safely in. I thought when the throw came in that they were going to get him, but nice job by Zimmerman. You see pointing where Rendon was supposed to slide to the outside part of the plate. Beautiful to see.
How many times do we see a non-deck hitter fail to do that? But that was terrific by Zimmerman. Yeah, Zimmerman takes a curveball for a strike, and it's 0-2.
Watch this. Point. That means slide to the outside part of that plate. And a Pete Rose type slide by Rendon produces another Nationals run.
Dragging that hand across the plate. Zimmerman hit into a fielder's choice his first time up. So Murphy's now reached base in 28 straight games against the Mets.
Couldn't even get it out of your mouth.
Not even. In the air to left, and Cespedes jogging in to get it. And Zimmerman retired 2 out. Now the Nats lead the National League in virtually every offensive category. They slipped to second in runs scored behind the Rockies, but they have the most runs per game. Best batting average, best on base percentage, best slugging percentage, most home runs, and on and on. That's coming into today. They now have 105 home runs with their 2 today. Here's Adam Lynn. So anyway, the other 2 players who reached base safely in their first 25 games against the Mets. Dick Allen,
one of my favorite players.
His first 2 years with the Phillies in '64 and '65. And here's an oddball one. Chris Coghlan.
Oh, with the Marlins.
Rookie of the Year with the Marlins in '09. There's a ground ball down to Duda. Lind is retired, inning over. A run in each of the first 3 innings for the Nationals. Murphy drives one in. 3-0 Nats in the 3rd. And here we are in Flushing. Did you know there was a Flushing Town Hall? Lots to do in Flushing. Got the library, lots of great Korean and Chinese restaurants.
Oh, Korean barbecue.
The Korean barbecue is just out of this world. You've got, if you haven't been, all you got to do is go over the Roosevelt Avenue Bridge. There are about 100 different places to go, and each one is as good as the one before. Recommended highly. You will come away stuffed.
Stuffed and maybe sweating a little bit.
Well, with all the condiments. Just, you know, be careful with the kimchi. It'll get you every time. Rene Rivera leads off the home 3rd. Rivera hit a home run in the opening game of the series. An opposite field shot, and we have seen more than our share of opposite field home runs from right-hand batters on this homestand. Some of them that certainly off the bat you would not have thought that they were going out of the ballpark. That was the case with Rendon's home run last night. I think it was certainly the case with Rene's home run the other night.
Well, Rene's this is a good curveball here. But watch this, what Rene sees. I mean, that ball just takes a right turn.
Who needs a slider? Fastball off the plate, or got the outside corner, 98 miles an hour. Rivera not happy with Nick Lentz on that call. But, you know, Nick needs to exercise that right arm.
That's right. Let's see if it catches the outside corner of the plate. I can see why Rene had an issue. What happens for hitters is like, hey, listen, this guy's good enough. You don't need to be helping him out at all.
By the way, the Mets trainers have been out each of the last couple of innings, in between innings, to check on Nick Lentz after he took that foul ball off his forearm. And it made me wonder, did Keith take his ice machine home with him, the one he borrowed from Ray Ramirez? Because, you know, they may need that for the umpires.
Well, I don't know. We'll check with Russ, our stage manager. He's the one in charge of the machine now.
No, he's in charge of filling it with ice.
No, you didn't hear? He's going on the plane tomorrow with Keith. He's going to be like the caddy for Keith with the machine.
Now that's a long flight to Los Angeles. How do you keep the ice frozen for that long?
I don't know.
Brian Chicklow, the assistant athletic trainer, already tired out from thinking about it. 2-0 to Lugo, who's 1 for 3 on the season, and he lifts one to right. And Harper waiting for it. 2 out. There's your optimal high-speed pitch. Strasburg just threw a 98-mile-an-hour fastball to strike out Rivera. Lugo's hit 94. Optimum now with internet speeds up to 4 times faster. Russ really wants to get on TV today.
He does.
He came in here with the ice machine, and then he came in wearing the bucket hat.
Come on, oh
so
nice.
And now we got him with the ice machine and the bucket hat.
White socks, and he can go to Florida. Look at that.
It's a little cool for shorts today, isn't it?
Nice. Okay, we got the machine for Nick Lentz if he needs it. Very nice.
Oh, it has the tag on it. What does it say?
Trainers.
Oh, it says trainers.
Well, I don't know. Found out. Someone told me how expensive these things are.
Really?
Yeah. Like, I'm not gonna say it on air, but it's major. So be careful, Russ. Very, very important machine.
Keith is worth it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So Keith is not working tomorrow, but he's coming to the ballpark to pick up his ice machine to go on the plane.
There you go. I mean, the way it is on commercial flights now, I doubt he'll be allowed to just take up 4 rows and have his ice machine.
Well, I don't know. I mean, more and more people are bringing their dogs on flights.
Right.
You'd think you'd be able to fit an ice machine under the seat. I mean,
well, they have the new thing that it's what, psychological reasons you need your dog.
Any dog can be a service dog.
Service
basically.
dog.
I mean, I love dogs, but
you know I'm a dog lover.
Yeah,
so,
but
come on now.
Conforto grounded out his first time up, and takes the breaking ball for a strike, and it's 2-2.
Strasburg is, when he's at his best, is just so efficient. Because he's taken it to the stretch now, he just kind of locks in, gets the sign, and then seems like perfection each and every time.
Well, the next step for Steven, assuming that the Nationals are able to maintain this cushion they have, is to get to October healthy.
Yeah.
He's only pitched in 1 postseason game in his career. Last year, a flexor tendon strain knocked him out at the end of the season, and he could not pitch in the postseason. Strikes out Conforto to end the inning. 7 in a row retired by Strasburg, his 3rd strikeout. After 3 at Citi Field, 3-0 Nationals. Nationals. Seth Lugo back to the mound for the 4th. And for more on Lugo, let's check in with Steve Gelbs, who's at the Porsche Grill.
Well, Gary, if you're Seth Lugo, you don't go from being a 34th round draft pick to a successful major league starter without a fair amount of perseverance and self-confidence. That being said, when Seth was in the minor leagues, there was more than one occasion where he thought, you know what, this might not happen for me. I need to start looking elsewhere into different potential careers. Remember, Seth Lugo didn't set the world on fire as a minor leaguer, had a minor league career ERA of 6 seasons of just about 4.5, and he said there would be starts or strings of starts where things weren't going well, and he'd go on to job boards and try and look at potential new careers because he didn't think he would be pitching the season later. But ultimately, he said that he just didn't find anything that really interested him, so he started to really focus on working even harder to become a major league pitcher because he thought at the end of the day that was the only thing he could do. But one offseason even, he did try landscaping out for a little bit because he thought this might be it for me.
Geology he was interested in, right?
He was a geology major in college at Centenary.
Geology majors oftentimes go into work for the oil companies, or I mean, it's an amazing a lot of major geology majors in Western Canada. Almost every young kid I meet is a geology major because you can get a job with a lot of the oil companies in Western Canada.
Of course, if he's really interested in landscaping, he could, you know, work with the grounds crew. That's worked well for the Freeze.
Well, you can work.
Here's the 1-2 inside. It's 2-2 to Taylor.
Yeah, you got 4 days off. Why not?
I mean,
guys, I did
grab a rake and a shovel. You never know what you might be able to accomplish. Steve?
Guys, I did think, though, listening to Seth Lugo, it was somewhat interesting to hear, you know, about the mental, you know, the thought process, I should say, as Taylor lines out to Cespedes, as he saw fellow prospects and fellow teammates kind of rocket through the minor league system ahead of him. He mentioned 2014 as being a really rough year when he had an ERA of above 4 in St. Lucie, and Steven Matz, Luis Sessa, Michael Fulmer, Gabriel Anoa, they kept rocketing past him. And at the time, you know, Ron, you could probably speak to this. I know you didn't have anything quite like that, but you don't know that these guys are all going to be major league pitchers, so there has to be a fair amount of self-doubt about how good you could ultimately be when you see everybody else moving so quickly in front of you.
You know, Steve, I was one of those guys that was rocketing, but I played with a lot of pitchers that were so talented. I always bring up Jeff Bittiger, because he would win 10 games in AAA every single season, it seemed, and never got his shot with the Mets. And there's a lot of good pitchers down there. It's just, you know, there's so many players and pitchers for only a certain amount of spots, and you have to be not only good but lucky sometimes.
And remember, in Seth's case, he had to overcome an incredibly difficult back surgery that he had right as he was starting his pro career. He had lumbar fusion surgery that took him out of the entire 2012 season, the year after he was drafted. So he was not only a late round draft pick, but a guy who had to fight uphill physically against all his peers as well. He's the only player from that 34th round in 2011 who has played in the major leagues. 3-1 to Lobaton, who homered his first time up. Strasburg on deck.
Being a #1 pick is like being a legacy into college. You get a couple of looks instead of just one.
And there's ball 4. Well, just think about the matchup we have here tonight. You've got Strasburg, who was the #1 overall pick in the draft in his year in 2009, and Lugo, who was a 34th round pick. So, you know, with 900 and some odd picks later. But there are different ways of getting here.
And they're on the same mound on the same day here. That's pretty good. San Diego State. His coach was
Tony Gwynn, who was his hero growing up.
Right.
And then he got to play for him. And Tony passed away 3 years ago. There was nobody who was more devastated than Steven Strasburg. He and Tony became so close. And remember, when Strasburg got to San Diego State, he was about 40 pounds overweight. He was pretty undisciplined by his own admission. And, you know, Tony and his staff went a long way toward getting Strasburg into the position where he was able to become the college pitcher that he was, and ultimately the #1 pick in the draft. 0-2 to Strasburg.
Can we throw that graphic up? How many walks to strikeouts was that? Can we throw that up again? 50 to 375. But if you had his stuff, I wouldn't walk college hitters either.
It's better to 7-1 in college. That doesn't happen very often.
There you go. 50 walks, 375, $1.50 ERA. Pretty nice year. 22-7. 3 years there, of course, at San Diego State.
That is why he was considered the best drafted pitcher of his generation. Good bunt with 2 strikes. Lugo makes the play to first. 1-4 on the sacrifice. Moving Lobaton up to second.
This was a mistake. And the reason I say it is that when you get ahead of the hitter, I'm going to take that back. I didn't think it was that high. He was trying to go up in the strike zone and get a pop up there. And Strasburg just made a good bunt. You want the strikeout there if you can once you get ahead of the hitter.
So now Trey Turner up for the 3rd time. Homer to lead off the game. Struck out in the 2nd. So Turner hit a leadoff home run against the Mets here. And in Oakland, Matt Joyce hit a leadoff home run on Masahiro Tanaka's first pitch. First time the Mets and Yankees have given up leadoff home runs on the same day. Happened 3 years ago. So it happened relatively recent. Broken back grounder. Flores ignores the bat, plays the hop, low throw, can't be handled by Duda. Around third comes Lobaton racing for the plate. Duda's throw, and Lobaton is safe. And it's 4-0 Washington. Well, Flores did a good job ignoring the barrel coming his way, but could not get the ball high enough. And Duda couldn't dig it out of the dirt. And Lobaton scores from second on the error by Flores.
That's the second error by Flores on a ball hit to him by Trey Turner. Backs up and doesn't get enough on this throw. Impossible for Duda. In between hop, handcuffed him. The hustle will try to get him at home. And the Nationals right now, this game is a death by 1,000 cuts. Lobaton doesn't have any speed. In fact, Flores could have reached over and tagged Lobaton to end the inning. He didn't. And another run.
Good news, Duda made an accurate throw home. Bad news, too late. So an unearned run. And here is Rendon, who's 1 for 2, singled and scored in the 3rd inning. And so the Nats have scored in each of the first 4 innings. Turner's home run in the 1st, Lobaton's home run in the 2nd, Murphy's RBI double in the 3rd, and now a walk, a sacrifice, and an error, providing a run here in the 4th.
I mean, this ball's on his glove side, in between hop. Tough play. It's into the runner.
Did it the way Keith said to do it, from bottom to top, but just a tough hop.
You can't. I mean, you can't blame Duda. It's a throw from 3rd to 1st. Just can't bounce the throw. I mean, with DeGrom and maybe Matz when he's at his best, he can get away with an infield defense that doesn't make the plays. But with Gazelman and Lugo, you've got to be able to make this play 99% of the time.
Yeah. I asked you this question the other day, and it just keeps gnawing at me. When you have pitchers who are not strikeout pitchers and rely on infield defense, and the infield defense is unreliable, how does that affect you psychologically as a pitcher?
I don't know if it, yeah, psychologically you start to think, and you can't go there because it's not your strength. You start to think punch out before pitching the contact, and you can't think that way if you're Lugo or Gazelman because you're not a strikeout pitcher, although you'll have games where you strike out a lot of hitters. I mean, I struck out over 1,000 batters with the Mets. I was not a strikeout pitcher. I had to pitch to contact. But you'll have your days where everything seems to be working or the other team was taking a nap.
Well, Lugo had a couple of fine defensive plays made behind him in his first start. Reyes made a terrific play. Cabrera and Walker turned an outstanding double play to get him out of a jam. But on balance, infield defense has been a big concern for this team all year. One-two. Slider on the plate. Rivera's throw to first, and back safely is Turner.
I like that by Rene. Make sure you hold Turner accountable at first base, that he can't just take that huge secondary lead. Nice swipe tag by Lucas. Too late.
Turner's got 22 stolen bases, third in the National League. Only Billy Hamilton and D. Gordon have more. A delayed steal attempt, and he's out at second base. I don't know if it was a delayed steal or just he got a terrible jump. But Turner is gunned down 2-4 on the caught stealing to end the inning. Unearned run for the Nationals as they score for the 4th straight inning. Rene Rivera with a good throw to gun down Turner to end the inning. 4-0 Nats in the 4th. The first 4 innings. That has happened before to the Mets this year. The Rangers scored in each of the first 4 innings against Jacob deGrom on that last road trip. They got 8 that day, but Mets got 10.
That's why I called it. It's like death by 1,000 cuts. I mean, boy.
So Steven Strasburg, thus 4-5, faces Yoenis Cespedes leading off the home 4th. Cespedes hit one off Strasburg's shoe for an infield hit his first time. And a fastball in for a strike. Jay Bruce to follow, and then Wilmer Flores as the Mets try and fight back against Strasburg, who's trying to rebound himself from his worst start of the season his last time out against Atlanta, and so far so good for Strasburg. Gave up 2 hits in the first and nothing since. Breaking ball hit toward the hole. Turner on the backhand. The jump throw is offline and bounces up against the dugout fence, and Cespedes will hold it first.
He did not make any motion to try to go to second, so no reason to tag him. Save it first on the hit.
I would always tag him just in case.
Yeah. Okay.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't hurt. I was watching though to see if he made a turn, because almost every runner does.
I mean, all you have to do is make some kind of flinch towards second and you were vulnerable to being tagged out, but Cespedes did not.
That play by Turner is the Jeter effect of all young players that are in the game.
Not everybody is Jeterian. Second infield hit of the day for Cespedes, and the Mets' 3rd hit of the game. No difference for Strasburg. Pitch out of the stretch with nobody on. Pitch out of the stretch with a man on.
It's genius if you can throw 98 out of the stretch.
Jay Bruce had a base hit in front of Harper in right center his first time up. takes low and in, ball one. And now 2-0. New York Mets baseball is brought to you by Mazda. Driving matters. One of the rare times Strasburg's been behind on the count today. He hasn't walked the batter. He struck out 3. Now it's 102 strikeouts and 23 walks for the season. Not quite the San Diego State numbers, but not bad. Here's the strike, 2-1.
Well, just pumps in a fastball on the inside corner. 2-0. Perfect pitch.
Jay Bruce on the 1st of June was hitting .244. He's now up to .273. And breaking ball in the dirt. Now it's 3-1. Initials on Strasburg glove in honor of his 2 grandfathers, Roger and Robert. Both of whom fought in World War II, and both have the same initials.
Well, Major League Baseball pays tribute to armed forces every day. So does Steven on his glove and his family.
Second full count of the day for Strasburg. Cespedes at first and nobody out. 3-2 to Bruce. Lashes one over the bag, just fouled. Wilmer Flores on deck. We mentioned that Strasburg has more strikeouts than anybody who's worn a Nationals uniform. This is the Nationals' 13th season. He is second on the franchise list for strikeouts going back to the Expos days. Only Steve Rogers had more strikeouts in franchise history. Rogers had over 1,600. Strasburg now with 1186 with his 3 today.
2 different pitchers. Well, you see the highest strikeout to baseball and ball ratio. Sale has been outstanding all season long. Tomlin's a guy who's not a strikeout pitcher,
but he doesn't walk anybody.
That's right. Bucket hat on top of the Met hat. Double hat.
Not the recommended look. But you know, you got to have your own style. That's lined into right center, a base hit for Bruce. Cespedes will go first to third. So Bruce is 2 for 2, and the Mets have the table set, first and third and nobody out. So Jay just continues to hit bullets.
Well, listen, he got down in the it was ahead in the count. Strasburg did a great job of getting back, fouled off some tough pitches, and then finally got a fastball in the outer part of the plate. Cespedes now has been running full force all afternoon. 2 infield hits, and now first to third.
You know, Cespedes has looked so free and easy today. The plan has been all week for him to have tomorrow off. I wonder whether Terry would reconsider that.
Well, a lot will depend on maybe the outcome of this game.
Right. Flores grounded into a double play his first time up, and Wilmer fouls one away. Wilmer's now 1 for 9 in this series, 2 for his last 21. So the Mets with their second scoring chance against Strasburg, and hoping to do better with this one. Lucas Duda on deck. And Wilmer takes the slider for a strike, and it's 0-2.
Wilmer's arguing that pitch that was covered a lot of the plate. Just the slider fooled him late. Pitchers who can strike out people, when they get in these instances, they will go for the strikeout. from pitch one.
Well, lately the Mets have struggled with runners in scoring position after getting off to a great start this year. They were up over 320 a couple of weeks ago.
Well, Walker was in the lineup then. Cabrera, who was hot with people on base, was in the lineup then.
Now, Wilmer's had a nice stretch, but he is not whom the Mets envision being their cleanup hitter against right-hand pitching at this point in the season. Well, that's a function of losing a couple of important hitters in their lineup. And it really has been a revolving door. Cespedes is out. Duda was out. Those guys come back. You lose Cabrera. You lose Walker.
You know, we talk about it all the time in the bullpen. When you lose your closer, guys have to perform different roles. It's the same within a lineup. When you got guys that are specialists, maybe Wilmer against lefties, occasional start against righties, and now he's got to play every day.
So you see the numbers lately for the Mets, driving in runs. Regression toward the mean, I guess you'd call that. Half swing. Did he go? He did not. Lays off the changeup, and it's 1-2. The statistically oriented folks will tell you that those runners in scoring position numbers will generally tend toward the team's overall batting average over time. Mets are a .246 hitting team overall. Another half swing, and again he stopped it. Ron Culper with the call, and it's 2-2.
So he's throwing him mostly fastballs, a changeup down and in. He threw one slider early in the count. You would think after all these pitches up in the strike zone that Wilmer didn't bite on, that breaking ball is coming. I shouldn't say slider, curveball.
Seventh pitch of the at bat coming to Wilmer. And he lays off the curveball, and now it's 3-2. So Strasburg got ahead of the count. A very disciplined at bat from Flores has gotten him to 3-2.
This didn't really push your pitch count up as a pitcher when you're trying to go for those strikeouts. And he was from pitch one. Now he's at 3-2.
17 pitches already in the inning with nobody out. Cespedes at third, Bruce at first.
Slider or curveball. Fastball away.
And Wilmer hits it toward the middle, but there's Turner to grab it. And he turns the double play. A run comes home. But Flores grounds into a double play for the second time today. Cespedes scores the Mets' first run. Strasburg will take that result. It's now 4-1 Washington. No RBI for Flores.
Well, Scherzer had 3 double plays last night and now 2 already for Strasburg. This one, a big one.
Scherzer was laughing after the game. He said, "Don't you guys know I'm a fly ball pitcher? I never get 3 double plays in a game."
That's right.
So 2 out and nobody on with a run in, and here's Duda. And that slider low and in.
Hit him on the foot. Hit him on the foot.
Okay, so Duda goes to first. Only the second batter Strasburg has hit this year, and he's questioning the call. He's looking in the dugout. Chris Spire, the bench coach, says, "Hold on, we'll take a look at it."
What are they asking for? I mean, you can see it hit him. You know, I mean, the way Lucas reacted, breaking ball in, back foot, off the toe. I mean, come on, guys.
Just the angle in which it bounced. It took a little bit of a right turn.
What I'm saying, the guys on the bench, you have to look at replay for that. Your baseball guys have been around it for 100 years.
Dusty Baker says, "Nope."
Silliness. Starting to rely on this stuff too much. I mean, just use your baseball eyes. You don't need to go to replay. Boom.
No, I mean, it took a turn. There's no way it would have taken that turn had it not hit his toe.
This is the collateral damage of this replay stuff, is that it becomes a pacifier.
It's a bit of a crutch.
Oh,
there's no
man.
question. So Duda at first with 2 out. Here's T.J. Rivera, who flying to center his first time up. Good stop by Lobaton. 1-1.
Again, the jersey, like last night of Scherzer, jersey of Strasburg, sopping wet. So humid the last couple of days.
And TJ takes curveball for a strike, and it's 1-2. Oh, it is definitely a humid afternoon. Not particularly hot. It's about 71, 72 degrees.
Same as last night, right? It wasn't hot last night. Damn. It's kind of how it feels.
Kind of like late April more than June. 1-2. Foul back. Well, it has been a hard-working inning for Strasburg. 23 pitches after throwing just 38 in the first 3 innings.
You know, we were talking earlier about how all of these starters for the Nationals are going deep into games, throwing as many pitches as anyone in the game. But wouldn't you do that with the lead you have? Push it right now. Just try to blow everyone out of the water in the National League East.
Well, as long as you're able to keep your pitchers healthy for when you need them in October.
Yeah.
That's driven to center field. Taylor cuts over and makes the catch. And that retires the side. So the Mets settle for just the 1 run against Strasburg in the 4th. 4-1 Nats going to the 5th. Rivera saved Seth Lugo some anguish in that 4th inning by throwing out Trey Turner to end the inning. Recently, Renee chatted with Steve Gelbs about his throwing technique from behind the plate.
With my right foot, I want a little jab, a little step, short step towards second base, and that allow my body to be positioned on the line to second base. And that quickness, accuracy, everything start at the bottom of your feet. So you want to have momentum going to second. It's 127 feet, and you only have a second and 1.8 second, 1.9 second to throw the guy out. So you want to have all the momentum going to second. Your body, all your power just try to go towards second base, and that the feet gonna help you to do that when you get a little step, the jab step going forward, and then now everything is ready, and now you can use your legs.
That was beautiful the way he described that. And to give the number 127 feet, you got to do it under 1.8. But even more importantly, we always talk about strength of arm. He just taught us that really it's the footwork that puts you in position to use your arm. I did not know. I always knew that you had to get square at some point, but I didn't know you got square by a tiny jab step with your right foot. That was well presented by Rene.
Right. We talk about footwork, but that's the piece that gets you moving. 3-1 to Rendon, and there's ball 4. So Lugo issues a leadoff walk, his second walk of the day. And now you got Harper, Murphy, and Zimmerman coming up after Rendon reaches.
What's amazing to me for catchers is that it's a real specific skill. Because if you raced Rene Rivera with anyone at the ballpark here, he would lose most of the races. He's not a fast guy, but he has quick feet. It's interesting to me.
I like the math of it.
Yeah.
You know, everybody knows that it's 90 feet between bases, but nobody ever talks about the hypotenuse.
There you go, right?
The 120. It's a little less than 127 feet. It's 126 and change. Harper fouls it off.
Who knew that Rene knew Pythagoras? You know,
that's great. But the other piece is how quickly, what they call pop times for the catcher, how quickly you have to get out of your stance and get the ball to second base. I mean, 1.8 seconds, that goes by in a flash.
And let's not lose the third part of that pop time, and that is accuracy at second base. And Rene is extremely accurate.
Harper's 1 for 2 today, and Lugo ahead of him 0-2. Murph on deck. Second start of the year for Seth Lugo. Went 7 innings in his first start in Atlanta Sunday. It was a much tidier affair for him. He gave up just the 1 run. Here he's given up a run in every inning. And the curveball fouled off. Still 0-2 to Harper.
Well, we only saw a few curveballs in Atlanta. He didn't need it. But here in the 5th inning, trying to use that curveball a little more. Shea Bridge.
And the place where Kyle Schwarber's home run came down.
Or over. I never
just
saw
beyond.
It. Yeah.
It did go over the bridge into that space next to it off to the right from where we were showing. Wow. Just an amazing shot. He's thrown 2 curveballs in a row, and now he spots the fastball and misses outside. 1-2.
We saw that success from pitchers against Bryce Harper is going to come inside with the hard stuff. Dangerous place to go, though.
So the changeup fouled off. With that low fence, everybody thinks they can reach over and flag down the baseball. But it's a little further than you think it is.
Catches you right by the quads or knees as you bend over.
And plus then you got the panel in front of the fence. So you have to reach beyond that as well.
To make sure you're doing your core work every day to get that accomplished.
Those seats are going to have netting in front of them after the All-Star break. Lifted down the left field line, a long run toward the corner for Cespedes, and he makes the catch going away. Boy, that was a tough play that Cespedes made look easy on a ball moving away from him off the bat of Harper for the first down.
I mean, he almost hit this ball out of the ballpark the other way. Well, just on the warning track, but it wasn't. The ball drifted, and it also seemed to carry on Cespedes, and he tracked it the whole way. Like a guy returning a punt.
Almost ran past it. Yeah. He got there so easily. I mean, he's really running well today. We've seen him on the bases several times now. So 1 out and 1 out. Now Murphy, who drove in a run with a double into the right field corner in the 3rd inning. 1 for 2 on the day. 5 for 10 in the series. And so it goes. 394 lifetime in 28 games. He's reached base in all 28 of them.
So Lugo got hurt by 2 breaking sliders, one to Lobaton, one to Murphy, has seemed to kind of shutter that pitch. Back to the curveball.
And Murphy takes a fastball that just missed.
That's a good pitch there. Rene Rivera talking with home plate umpire Nick Lentz. And what catchers will say to the umpires so they don't get on their bad side, say, Nick, we got to have that pitch. That's a good pitch. That was a strike.
And if you can, you say it without turning around.
Yeah.
Curveball popped up. Reyes out. Conforto in, and Conforto gets there. 2 out. Now here's the Mets' upcoming schedule. Go to pix11.com/team travel for great deals on Mets away games from cheapoair.com. So we got one more game on this homestand. And then the Mets will have a relentless road schedule heading into the All-Star break. 10-game road trip to LA, San Francisco, and Miami. They come home for 3 games against the Phillies, and they go right back out on the road to Washington and St. Louis.
Wow.
Leading up to the break. So after tomorrow, only 3 home games before the All-Star break.
Keith, on the California part of that trip, I'll meet you in Miami. I see that you have Saturday night off in one of the best restaurant towns in all the world.
Oh, right. National TV in San Francisco Saturday. That's right. Zimmerman is 0 for 2. Into a fielder's choice and flied out. Do you have any particular recommendations?
I used to always like Skoma's down on the pier. Have you ever been there before? That's a good place to go.
That sounds great.
I always like whenever I get in town, if I haven't been there in a long time, I go straight to Chinatown.
Chinatown is wonderful. There's a great vegetarian restaurant in Chinatown in San Francisco that I have been known to frequent.
Yeah, I've been there before.
And then if you have a group of people who likes to partake of this, there's always the Stinking Rose.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Where they specialize in garlic.
That's right. Skoma on the pier, its specialty is abalone. I don't know if you've ever had that before, but they do it better than any place I've ever been
Tastes
to.
a little like octopus.
Yeah.
Lugo ahead on Zimmerman, 1-2. And he strikes him out to end the inning. So Lugo's finally able to hang up a 0. First scoreless inning for the Nats today. He buries this slider against Zimmerman to strike him out. His 4th of the day. Halfway through, 4-1 Nats. Drive and Discover sales event on Bucket Hat Day at Citi Field. Mets are down 4-1 as we go to the bottom of the 5th. Some people are wearing their bucket hats. Some have stowed them. It's a fashion thing, you know. Some people feel as though the bucket hat fits their style, and some feel otherwise. Jose Reyes takes ball 1. So we did the math because we wanted to get this official. Distance from home plate to second base.
So you didn't want to take Renee's word, or?
Well, I just wanted to get an exact reading. So if you remember your math class, your geometry class, it's for a right triangle.
That's right.
A squared, which is the distance from home plate to first base, plus B squared, the distance from first base to second base. The square root of that is the distance from home plate to second base. Right. So
90 squared.
90 squared is 8100.
That's right.
Times 2. Square root of that is 127.279 feet, or 127 feet 3 3/8 inches. That's the exact distance from home plate to second base.
Very nice.
And that's from the back tip of home plate, in case, not from the front.
Yeah. Why, you're protecting yourself because there's someone out there that's going to say, well, from the front of the plate, it's
But that's where that's where the foul line starts.
Yes.
Right? The 90 feet starts from the back tip. So now that we've got that straight, that's ball 4 to Reyes, and the Mets get the leadoff man on for the second straight inning. First walk given up by Strasburg today. And now Rene Rivera, who had to throw the ball 127 feet 3 3/8 inches earlier today, will get his second turn at bat. Rene took a call, third strike, his first time up. Only 3 strikeouts for Strasburg today, but if you remember last night, Max Scherzer got off to a slow strikeout start.
And then he started churning in the 4th inning, 4th through the 8th.
Wound up striking out 10. 5th straight game that Scherzer has struck out 10 or more. Only the second player in franchise history to have 5 straight double-digit strikeout games. The other?
Pedro?
Pedro.
Of course. The great Pedro. By the way, Pedro is the answer to about 75% of our questions.
That's true, between his Expos days and his Red Sox days and his Mets days.
I mean, he's one of the answers to the Cy Young Award winners in the National American League.
Didn't Pedro even beat the Mets a game when he pitched for the Phillies at the end of his career?
He might have.
One and one to Rivera. Seth Lugo out on deck, so he will continue on. 78 pitches in 5 innings for Lugo, so the Mets will try and squeeze at least 1, hopefully 2 more innings out of him. Mets are continuing to go with a 6-man rotation, although they don't know who the 6th man is right now. Somebody will get a start in Los Angeles, maybe Rafael Montero off that good relief outing the other night. 1-2 now to Rivera, and that means as long as they go with 6, they can push these starters a little bit further than they would otherwise. Although I'm not sure Lugo's ready for the 115 pitch treatment. It's only his 2nd start.
I think Lugo was before the game. Trey Gomes talking about 100, 105 maybe.
Strasburg has overmatched Rivera so far in this at bat. Strasburg wary of Reyes, but not likely Jose is running 3 runs down with the pitcher on deck. Jose now with 498 career steals, hopes to become the 39th player in history to steal 500. And Rivera strikes out on the high fastball. And Strasburg takes care of Rivera for the 2nd time, his 4th strikeout of the night.
Didn't really have to put too much science there against Rivera. Just kept pumping in the fastball, let her high.
So So what do you do with Lugo here? Down by 3 runs, you ask him to bunt with 1 out?
Yeah, you do. Get the game to 2 runs. You know, we've been talking this whole series about the bullpen for the Nationals. It'll probably at some point have to be in this game. Get it as close as you can.
Mets have not yet been within striking range when the Nats bullpen has come into play in this series. Each of the first 2 games they inherited a 5-run lead. Thursday night, Gio Gonzalez went 7, and then last night Scherzer went 8.
Only issue you have here, Gary, is you got to make a good bunt, because if you bunt it right back to one of these defensive players, they'll turn 2 on you.
Pushes it nicely down to Zimmerman, and the 3-4 sacrifice moves Reyes along to second. 2 out. First career sacrifice for Seth Lugo.
Interesting defense by the Nationals. Nice form by Seth, pinching that bat with his right hand and then just catching that ball on the end of the bat. Interesting defense by the Nationals. They charge hard in the first pitch, not on the second pitch.
Yeah, Rendon was not convinced. It didn't look like that there's going to be a bunt. Now Conforto, who's grounded out and struck out. Michael now 0 for 6 in this series. The regression for Conforto now has gone back a few weeks. This is the last 20 games now. He's 11 for 66. It's a 167 clip over more than 3 weeks.
Yeah, I was shocked today because he hasn't been playing every day. When I put his number in at 286, seems like yesterday he was in the 330s.
And so what everybody wants to know is there any similarity between what's going on now and what dragged Michael's season down last year?
Well, there are some little similarities. His last at bat when he struck out, he swung at a slider off the plate, down and in. That's what he was doing last year. You know, one of the things that makes Conforto, I think, have a chance to be one of the real top hitters in this game is his plate discipline. And when he loses that, he becomes ordinary.
Before this cold streak began for Michael on May 24th, so it's about 3 weeks ago, he was hitting .341. So he's lost 55 points off his average over this cold stretch. He's still in the top 10 in the league in on-base percentage and in slugging percentage, so it's not as though he's fallen off the map. Just going through a correction right now.
Well, the Nationals have gotten the big home run when they've needed it in the first 2 games of the series. Mets need one of their stars to pop one out of here.
And the curveball somehow finds the plate. Conforto's not happy about that call, and you can understand why.
I think Lentz has called a pretty good game. He missed that pitch. Just a floating curveball. Never came in the strike zone.
So now instead of 3-1, it's 2-2. Reyes at second with 2 outs. Cespedes would be next. Mets have had just 4 hits against Strasburg. They could use a 2-out knock. Conforto fouls back the fastball at 97. Well, the Mets have done a little better job driving up Strasburg's pitch count than they did against Gonzalez or Scherzer the last 2 nights. And the slider misses down. 3-2.
Yesterday we saw on a 3-2 pitch that Scherzer went down and away and got a strikeout of Conforto. Be interesting to see the day after what Strasburg goes with.
Second straight time Conforto's gotten to a full count. And Michael strikes out on the curveball to end the inning. 5 strikeouts for Strasburg. Second time he's gotten Conforto. After 5, 4-1 Washington. The Mets Hall of Fame and Museum in the Jackie Robinson Rotunda. You can find memorabilia such as the first Shea Stadium program. Who is that an artist's rendition of?
I don't know.
And some new fans who have no memory of Shea Stadium. Barely any of Citi Field.
Started me out, Gary.
Got to get him going. Adam Lynn leads off in the 6th inning, takes a curveball for a strike from Seth Lugo. Lynn playing left field today has gone 0 for 2, a call third strike and a ground out. Lynn, though, has 3 pinch hit home runs already this season for the Nats. And get this. Now, the Nats are only in their 13th season, but the 3 pinch hit home runs in the first 3 months of the season gives him the career record for pinch hit home runs for a Washington National. Career. You can have that when you're a relatively young franchise, or at least a young part of their franchise.
You know, but they've had the ability to have some good guys come off their bench the last few seasons. Remember Tyler Moore when Davey Johnson was the manager, had a nice year, and then of course Clinton Robinson the last couple of years has done a nice job.
Moore is now in Miami. That's it slowly. Lugo off the mound to snag it, and he'll take it himself for the 1 unassisted put out. Now Michael Taylor, who's 0 for 2. Struck out and flied out after homering in each of the first 2 games of the series. New York Mets baseball is brought to you by NYU Langone Heart. Jam shot down at Duda. Lugo over to cover, and very quickly there are 2 out. Lugo with both putouts in the inning. He's 1 shy of tying a major league record. Most putouts by a pitcher in an inning.
There you go.
Now all it needs is a pop up to the mound.
I mean, they always do this now. I find it a little funny, but they always come in and talk to the pitcher after he covers first to make sure he's got his wits about him, ready to go.
Did you need to catch your breath after covering first base? I mean, let's be honest.
I mean, listen, if you have to catch your breath after covering first, you're not doing enough running in between. But hey, listen, it's a kind act.
I think in general, the sport is a kinder, gentler one in terms of the way players are regarded and treated. I mean, you guys, nobody cared.
No, it wasn't even that. You were taught to not talk to the opposition, get fined for it if you did. I'll never forget in the All-Star game in '85, I went up to ask Nolan Ryan to take a picture with me, and I was so afraid to do it. He couldn't be any nicer. Yeah, he was great.
Well, once you're an All-Star, then you earn your stripe.
I didn't feel like an All-Star, not especially next to Nolan.
Lugo with a chance for his first 1-2-3 inning, but Lobaton has been a stumbling block today. He homered in the second inning and then walked and scored in the fourth. Now he came into the game hitting 127. And whose team was 5-13 when he started this year. Which makes Matt Wieters look pretty good.
Yes, it does.
Because he started all the other games, which means they're 36-13 when he starts. That's pretty good. One-two from Lugo, and it's up and away. 94 from Seth. Still throwing hard in the sixth inning. Nobody up behind him. Two coming, and the curveball bends around the plate, and it's 3-2. Strasburg would be next. And that curveball line into left, and Lobaton has another hit. He's having himself a day. Home run, walk, and single for a guy who started the day hitting 127.
Two curveballs in a row, one that could have been a called strike, and this one nice hitting by Lobaton. Looks like a .330 hitter to me right there.
1,000 hitter today. Now Strasburg, who's a 1,000 hitter himself, single in a sacrifice bunt.
Got a little pop, so you got to make your pitches on Strasburg. 2
home runs in his career, including one this year, and he fouls it back. So we were talking about Lugo getting the 2 putouts in this inning. So we looked up the record for putouts by a pitcher in a game, 9-inning game, is 7. By a guy who got a lot of ground balls and covered first base a lot. Greg Maddux.
Oh, makes sense.
Yeah. How many Gold Gloves did he win? 18?
I mean, every year.
Every year but one.
Yeah, after 90. 90 from then on.
Ronnie won the other one. He's just too humble to say it.
Keith and I have 12 between us. That's how I use it.
Chopper to Reyes. You mean the booth has 12 among the three?
There you go. There you go. That's even better.
Side retired. We go to the bottom of the 6th at Citi Field. Strasburg and the Nats up 4-1. special team that gets a ticker tape parade before they ever play a game, but that's what happened in Lower Manhattan for the 1962 New York Mets, whom the folks throwing the ticker tape did not know at the time would go 40 and 120 that year. There's Al Jackson riding in the car with Gus Bell. What's great is the logo hasn't changed in 57 years, 56 years.
It's a great logo. Good as it gets.
You can almost see the top regions of the Empire State Building, but still plenty of fog out there.
I'll tell you, one of the highlights of my life was being in that parade after the World Series win. I mean, to see that many people in one place was mind-blowing.
By the way, there were a few more people lining to root when you guys went through the canyon of Hero.
Still, I mean,
here's your Mets box score brought to you by Infinity. Cespedes and Bruce have all the hits for the Mets today. The only run coming home on a double play ball. Steven Strasburg has thrown 80 pitches through 5 innings. And he'll get 2, 3, and 4 in the Mets order here in the 6th. Cespedes, Bruce, and Flores. Cespedes has 2 hits. They've both been infield hits. One off Strasburg's foot. The other one deep in the hole at short. And Cespedes has scored the only Met run today. First pitch curveball for a strike. So Cespedes now 9 for 21 since coming off the disabled list. It's a .429 batting average. Bruce is 2 for 2 on deck. Strasburg trying to negotiate his 3rd time through the batting order. And Cespedes with an ugly cut of the curve, and it's 0-2. Strasburg has walked 1. He's struck out 5.
You don't see it done that often, but Strasburg really does try to work the top of the zone with his heater to set up the breaking balls that start in the same place and break out of the strike zone.
Well, this is an era that should be kind to pitchers who throw their fastball up in the zone, because you have hitters trying to elevate low pitches on a regular basis, and most swings now appear to be tailored in a fashion that high fastball pitchers should be able to exploit.
Yes. Put something on it. You know, that's the key.
Two coming. And Cespedes lays off the high fastball at 98. And now it's 3-2. Mets have had some good at bats against Strasburg today. They just haven't had a lot of good results. Good cut by Cespedes. Still 3-2.
Well, let's face it, the 2 double plays were killer. In the 2 innings, they had a shot to, score multiple runs in an inning. And in this kind of game with the score 4-1, 3-2 count to Cespedes, you saw why Strasburg went right after him. No one on base. Challenge Cespedes. Make him hit it out of here.
Why not? 8th pitch of the at bat coming. And Cespedes hits it hard. Murphy can't come up with it. And Cespedes is aboard for the 3rd straight time. Be interesting to see how they score that. They will give Cespedes credit for a base hit.
Yeah, that'll be hit. Pitch sequence, Strasburg to Cespedes. Curveball for a strike. Curveball way off the strike zone. Weak swing. Then he proceeded to try to work up in the strike zone. Breaking ball that could have been called a strike. Changeup laced down the line. Fastball not biting. Again, fastball fouled back. And finally gets one a little lower. And Murphy not able to make the play.
So Cespedes is 3 for 3 after a terrific at bat. And now Bruce is 2 for 2 today. So Terry Collins trying to bunch his best hitters as Cespedes hitting second, Bruce hitting third, and they have all 5 hits for the Mets. Now they need somebody else to contribute. And the on deck circle would like to make that happen after Bruce. Otherwise, you know, Wilmer would be on his way to having people talk about Joe Torre, and he doesn't want that conversation.
Oh, that's right.
Joe famously grounded into 4 double plays in one game and then blamed Felix Millan, who went 4 for 4 in front of him. Lifted foul, 1-2. That was in 1975, shortly before Joe became the player manager.
That's right.
That's 3 weeks he was the player manager, and then he officially retired as a player.
So Joe was the manager when Seaver was traded.
Yes.
Wow.
One-two from Strasburg to Bruce. And he fouls back that high fastball.
Strasburg has been trying to come in on the left-handed hitters, but he's been leaving the ball up out over the plate. And that's why Bruce has been fouling off some of those tough pitches. He hasn't made that dart on the inside corner yet.
92 pitches now for Strasburg. No action as yet in the Nationals bullpen. He's had to work a little harder as this game has gone along. Slider at the feet of Bruce, and it's 2-2. The Mets beat Strasburg the only time they faced him this year. That was in late April in D.C. They got 3 runs in 7 innings, and that was enough to beat him. He's 7-4 lifetime against the Mets, but 6-1 in this ballpark with an ERA under 2. This is line from that first start. 5-3 Met win. 2-2 to Bruce. Fouled away. The Mets have had some lengthy at bats against Strasburg the last 2 or 3 innings, which has elevated that pitch count.
I mean, Bruce and Cespedes seeing it as good as any hitters in the Mets lineup.
Seventh pitch coming to Bruce, and he lines that into right field for a base hit. Cespedes will go first to third. Harper gets it in as Bruce stops at first with his 3rd hit of the day. So Cespedes and Bruce are each 3 for 3, and the Mets have first and third and nobody out.
A little cutter slider, it looks like, on the inside corner, or tried to get it to the inside corner, and it didn't get there. Nice hitting, although jammed by Bruce. Good hitting to dump it in right. And Cespedes has been going first to third twice in a row now.
Well, Wilmer, the ball's in your court. Joe Torre is watching. 2 at bats, 2 double play grounders from Wilmer. The second one brought in a run. And the curveball off the plate for ball 1. Tying run at the plate in a 4-1 game. And Wilmer with a check swing foul. Might have broken his bat. 1-1.
You know, when Wilmer was in such a hot streak, it seemed like if he erred on being too quick on the ball, and now he's a little behind. That fastball kind of shattered his bat because it surprised him.
course, facing Scherzer and Strasburg, you're forced to dial it up a little more.
Line to right field. Harper in front of it. Tagging at third, Cespedes. He heads home. The throw by Harper to Lobatone. Safe. Good throw by Harper. Not good enough to get Cespedes. Flores snaps the double play streak with a sacrifice fly, and the Mets pull within 4-2.
Well, nice hitting one by Wilmer. Line drive to right field. Watch Harper. See how he catches that a little bit on his heels? That stopped him from getting Cespedes at home. He's got an incredible arm, an accurate arm. But Cespedes just enough speed in this game for his hits and first to third, and now scoring home on the sac fly. Looks like they're going to appeal Cespedes to third base. What you have to do is that if you're going to appeal, you got to appeal right away.
Well, Dusty Baker is coming out to talk to the third base umpire, Ron Culpa. I don't know why you'd have to do that if you're going to appeal.
Okay. Let's see the tag box if he left early.
And throw to third.
Oh boy, he's on there a long time. It's not even close.
And now they are appealing, and he's safe. Pitcher has to go to the rubber, step off, and throw to third. Of course, they did it without Duda in the batter's box, which meant time was probably out, which means they might have to do it again. Now they're asking the Nats if they want to challenge the call at the plate, and they say no. So we've got all the machinations down. The Mets run counts. 1 out and 1 on for Duda, who struck out and been hit by a pitch, and he goes after a first pitch changeup, 0-1. So the Mets have nicked Strasburg. Problem is they've got Cespedes and Bruce, who are combined 6 for 6. And the rest of the team is 0 for 13. Duda still looking for his first hit in this series. Tying run at the plate in a 4-2 game. 100 pitches now for Strasburg, and warm-up action has begun in the Nationals bullpen. This is what you want if you're the Mets, to get the Nationals starting pitcher to 100 pitches this early. Like Trinan, the right-hander, Matt Grace, the left-hander, up. We've talked about it repeatedly in this series, but it really hasn't come into play yet. The Nationals bullpen has just been dreadful. Another good changeup by Strasburg, and it's 2-2. Last in the league with a 5.17 ERA. 6 times this year the Nats have had a multiple run lead in the 8th inning or later and lost the game. Twice as many as any other team in baseball.
And they're still up by 10 games.
Yeah. I'll tell you how good they are in every other area. Another changeup from Strasburg, and it's fouled off. Strasburg has thrown as many as 119 pitches in a game this year. Jerry Blevens up in the Mets bullpen with the top of the order due up for the Nats in the 7th. That means Harper and perhaps Murphy. So he's ready for that if need be. Bruce at first with 1 out. 2-2 to Duda. And Lucas gets jammed but fouls it back.
Boy, he's got him on the seesaw, doesn't he, with the fastballs up and in and the changeups down and away.
T.J. Rivera on deck. And Lucas lays off the curveball. Now it's 3-2. So quality at bat after quality at bat for the Mets these last couple of innings against Strasburg, and it's starting to catch up with him. Up to 105 pitches. That 119 was against the Phillies May 5th, and that matched his career high for pitches thrown.
Strasburg seems like he's getting tired. Maybe he'll make a mistake.
6th full count of the game for Strasburg, and he walks Duda to put the tying runs on base. 2nd walk of the day for Strasburg. Here comes Dusty Baker. He's got Trinan and Grace in the bullpen ready to go if he wants to make the move.
Trinan is the ground ball pitcher with Rivera coming up. There he goes.
And he makes the move. So Strasburg is done after 5 1/3, 106 pitches, and Blake Trinan will be coming into the game. Call to the bullpen brought to you by Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center. More science, less fear. Mets trying to rally in the 6th. We'll be right back. The Nationals this afternoon.
Well, he represents what the bullpen's gone through. You can see the ERA, batting average against. He is their best bet, though, with one out here and a couple on, for Dusty to get a double play. He's got a hard sinker, hard slider.
Bruce at second. Duda carrying the tying run at first. One out of the inning, a run home. Strasburg done after 5 1/3, his second shortest outing of the year. His shortest came in his last start against the Braves when he lasted just 5. He leaves here having allowed 2 runs and responsible for the 2 on base. Rivera 0 for 2 has hit the ball to center field both times up. And he hits Trinan's first pitch foul. Now Trinan, one of a host of Nationals who has been given the closer's job and has given it back.
Well, Dusty announced in end of spring training that Trinan was the first. And boy, they've tried 4 or 5.
Here a bullpen that has been struggling, has to get 11 outs. Outside TJ 1-1. Jose Reyes waiting on deck. And you hate to be behind at all, but this is the situation the Mets have been waiting for 3 days. Each of the last 2 days they fell so far behind the bullpen really didn't come into play, and the Nats starter was able to work deep into the game. Here the Mets have their opportunity. Slider misses. 2-1 to TJ.
And this really has been Trinan's issue this year and others, is that he has as nasty as stuff that you can have, but he has a hard time throwing it for strikes.
4.2 walks per 9 innings, and that's held pretty steady for him the last couple of years, but the overall results the last few years have been better. This year he's been hit much harder. Grounded down to third. Rendon with the step and the throw for the double play. Side retired. Third infield double play turned by the Nationals for the 2nd straight day. Mets settle for 1 run. Trail 4-2 after 6. Vote Mets for your 2017 All-Stars with the Esurance MLB All-Star Game ballot. Vote at Mets.com/vote and catch all the excitement of the 88th MLB All-Star Game presented by MasterCard July 11th, live on Fox. Seth Lugo starts the 7th inning. Trey Turner trying to drop down a bunt against the curveball, but he fouls it off. In-game box score for the Nats brought to you by Infinity. Empower the drive. Turner led off the game with a home run. Lobaton homered in the 2nd. He's had a big day. An RBI double for Murphy. An unearned run in the 4th. The Nats built a 4-0 lead. It's now 4-2 as the Mets have chipped away. Lugo still out there chucking in the 7th, trying to get through 7 for a 2nd straight start to begin his season. But Jerry Blevens on call in the bullpen, with Harper due up 3rd in the inning. Reyes in front of Turner's ground ball, and that's the 1st out. So Lugo continues to do a creditable job keeping his team in the game today.
Well, you had that with Matz yesterday too. You know, going deep into a game, bitten by the home run ball, of course. You know, he's outlasted Strasburg out there, but still trailing by 2. It's Jerry Blevens up in the bullpen.
The thing I'd say about Lugo is that he has been at his best the last couple of innings as his pitch count has gotten deeper, and we showed the numbers earlier. That has been his tendency, that he gets better after that first time through the order.
Well, I wonder if he's trying to protect his arm. We know he has issues with his elbow by using that slider more, which he was victimized a couple of times with a double by Murph and a home run by Lobaton. The last few innings he's gone to the curveball, and I wonder if that makes a difference, because that's not a better pitch. It's a tougher pitch for the opponents.
We've heard Matz talk about ditching his curveball in deference to the pain that he felt in his elbow last year when he was throwing it more, and perhaps Lugo doing something of the same. Of course, Lugo, a guy who's been more dependent on his slider over his career than Matz, who came to that slider more recently. Fouled away by Rendon, and it's 1-2. Mets have used, was it 11 different starting pitchers?
Yes, it is.
Remember Adam Wilk? Remember that era?
That wasn't an era, Gary. That was a flyby.
Well, they're going to need another one probably from that list, probably Montero or Pill this coming week. Curveball gets Rendon looking. Nicely done by Lugo for the 2nd out. Now the question is, does he get Harper, or does Terry make the change right here? And we have our answer. Here comes Terry. So Lugo goes 6 2/3, and Blevens will take it from here.
Good breaking ball. That's his best pitch. Curveball for a strikeout.
99 pitches for Seth Lugo. 3 earned runs allowed over 6 2/3 innings in his 2nd start of the season. And now Jerry Blevens comes on to face Bryce Harper with 2 out and nobody on. That's to make a double switch. Matt Reynolds will come in as well. This call to the bullpen brought to you by Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center. More science, less fear. Changes for the Mets. Wilmer Flores moves from third base to second base. Matt Reynolds in to play third. He'll bat ninth. Jerry Blevens on to face Bryce Harper with 2 out and nobody on. And Jerry throws the first pitch fastball off the plate for ball 1.
There's that fastball that Blevens uses against the lefty on that first pitch. Doesn't get the call. Having an outstanding year so far this year for Jerry.
Coming off his longest outing of the season, went an inning and a third against the Cubs in that Wednesday night Mets victory. Harper nubs one down to third. Reynolds just into the game, makes the play cleanly. Side retired. Blevens gets his first man. Lugo with a nice effort. Mets down by 2 at the 7th inning stretch. Harper, you know, over the last few weeks, Steve Gelbs has been examining some of the hardships that some of the Met players have had to overcome to get to the big leagues. Jerry Blevens is his subject today. Steve?
Well, Gary, for Jerry Blevens, the big hurdle he had to overcome came in between his sophomore and junior years in college pitching for Dayton. Jerry Blevens, believe it or not, his first 2 years in college could not throw a strike. His sophomore year, he had a whip of almost 3 and was walking over 12 batters per 9 innings. And his college pitching coach came up to him and said, "What are you thinking when you're out there on the mound?" And Blevens responded, "You know, I'm thinking, don't throw a ball here. Don't throw a ball." And his coach said, "Okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to reframe how you phrase that. Don't think about not throwing a ball. Think about throwing strikes." Blevens was told and started reading books about how the mind only thinks in positive. So if you're thinking even about something negative, your mind is going to lean towards doing that. So Blevens started thinking positively, refined that approach over the years, started thinking not just about throwing strikes, but throwing to certain parts of the zone. And his junior year, he really took off and has never looked back after that.
You know, what's interesting is that I looked at the same issue as Jerry did because I was having trouble throwing strikes once I got to the major leagues. That I looked at it, what worked for me is I tried to win the first 3 pitches of the at-bat. So I wanted it to be 1-2. So I thought it was self-defeating if on the first pitch you throw, it's a ball, now you've already lost. You've lost in the at-bat. So if you go with 3 pitches, the first 3 pitches, it makes it a little easier for you that if you miss with that first one, you're still in the game, you know? And it worked for me. I don't know if it'll work for everybody, but I had to kind of root it around my mind too to figure it out.
So it's all about creating a positive environment for yourself.
Right.
However you manage to do that. Little tapper by Reyes. Off the mound comes Trinan, and his throw goes down the line.
Reyes on his way to second. Murphy recovers. The throw to second hits Reyes, and he arrives safely. A bad throw by Trinan. Murphy had plenty of time, but his throw hit Reyes, and Jose winds up in scoring position.
Well, Trinan is another one of those pitchers that can't throw to bases. I mean, he misses by 10 feet. Not even close. And Murph had plenty of time to set himself and throw a strike, but he did it on the run. And I guess bad luck as it hits. Bad luck for Murphy that it hit Reyes. Good hustle by Jose.
It'll be scored an infield hit for Reyes. And then an error on Trinan, allowing him to get to second. No error on Murphy. So a runner in scoring position with nobody out. Rene Rivera, the batter. Rivera's been up twice and struck out both times in a call strike. So Trinan, who came in to get a double play grounder to end the 6th inning, finds instant trouble in the 7th, and they've got double barrel action up behind him in the Washington bullpen. Joe Blanton, the right-hander. Matt Grace, who was up earlier, the left-hander. You've got Rivera at the plate. Matt Reynolds is sitting in the 9-hole. He's on deck.
The simplest of plays not executed by Trinan.
But we see it all the time with pitchers. You know, you watch a play like that, which was, you know, a swinging 30-foot roller, and you wonder why Reyes doesn't try to bunt for hits more, because he still has that ability to create a little bit of havoc. In the dirt, and a good stop by Lobaton. 1-1. With Reynolds getting ready for his first at bat after being called up yesterday. Now the way that hit for Reyes, the first hit for the Mets today by anybody other than Cespedes or Bruce. Cespedes 3 for 3, Bruce 3 for 3. The rest of the team had been 0 for 14 before that Reyes infield hit. Strasburg went 5 1/3, allowed 2 runs, 5 hits, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts, and a hit batsman. Trying to pick up from there. And he strikes out Rivera on the high fastball, same way Strasburg struck him out twice. And that's the first out of the inning.
Well, that'll be on the scouting report for all the teams to follow. Renee's going to see a lot of fastballs up in the strike zone. Target by Lobaton, hits the glove.
So now it's Reynolds, who's 4 for 23 in the big leagues this year. He's had multiple trips between New York and Vegas. He was hitting .286 in the Pacific Coast League. Batting with Reyes at second and 1 out. He's 0 for 2 in his career against Blake Trinan. I think there's a connection between the fact that Trinan is from South Dakota State, the Jackrabbits, and the fact that he's wearing white shoes.
That's right.
Makes him look like, well, like a jackrabbit.
Well, it's interesting on these days. I mean, everybody in the Nationals uniform or Mets uniform, all different color shoes.
Quite a contrast with the blue socks. Backhanded by Lobaton on a 98-mile-an-hour sinker, and it's 2-0. Trinan's got great stuff.
Trinan is one of those guys, if he only knew how good his stuff is and how guys think of him, he would be a better pitcher. Just doesn't have that confidence in himself that he needs.
2-0 to Reynolds with Conforto on deck. And outside, ball 3. Told you about Trinan's walk rate, over 4 walks per 9 innings, and the Mets being patient with him. You have to figure Reynolds takes a pitch here with Conforto on deck.
Absolutely.
It's down by 2 in the 7th. And there's a strike, 3-1. Reyes at second and 1 out. And Reynolds takes a fastball, strike, 3-2. He thought he had ball 4, but Nick Lentz called it a strike.
Well, when a guy's all over the place, sometimes he doesn't get the benefit of the doubt from the umpire, but Trinan did from Lentz there. Close pitch. He called it on the knees.
So Trinan's gotten from 3-0 to 3-2 against Reynolds. And Matt hits a chopper to Murphy. In to get it. 2 out. Reyes goes to third. And here comes Dusty Baker with the left-hand hitter coming up. He's got the lefty Matt Grace, who was just called up at the start of this series, up in the bullpen. And it looks like Grace will be coming into the game. Call to the bullpen brought to you by Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center. More science, less fear. Trinan out, Grace in. We'll be right back. Michael Conforto bats with a runner at third and 2 out. He'll face the lefty Matt Grace.
See if we get a 2-out knock. Grace went to UCLA, was in the bullpen and teammates of Garrett Cole, Trevor Bauer.
2 out, a runner at third, and he misses with the first pitch to Conforto. Michael's had a rough day at the plate, a ground down 2 strikeouts against Strasburg, and now facing the lefty with Reyes at third. 0 for 7 in this series. And he takes a fastball strike, 1-1.
Grace has a little sinking action on his fastball. Steady diet of sliders, usually to the left-handed hitters.
Blake Trinan worked an inning and a third in relief, allowed 1 hit, the infield single by Reyes. Now Grace trying to pick up for him. Grace, who's never allowed a home run in the major leagues, 26 2/3 innings spread over 3 seasons. Conforto hasn't hit a home run in 3 weeks. Last one came June 2nd against the Pirates. That's also his last run batted in. And down in the count against Grace, 1-2. Reyes bluffing down the line, and Conforto bloops one right to Rendon, and that retires the side. So Grace gets his man. Mets continue to get base runners, but they still trail 4-2 after 7. Local 4 dealers. Let's see if we can go through the list. Familia, blood clot surgery. Harvey, scapula bone. Malone, knee. Smoker, elbow. Syndergaard, lat. Cabrera, thumb. Walker, hamstring. Right, back and neck and shoulder. Lagares, broken thumb.
Very nicely done.
Too many.
Yeah.
Jerry Blevens got the final out in the 7th, stays on to start the 8th with Daniel Murphy up. Murph is 1 for 3 today, but just 1 for 13 in his career against Blevens, who starts him off with a curveball for a strike, leaving Murph puzzled. I love his puzzled look when he talks to the umpire.
Yeah. It's like, I know you think that's a strike, but
he's very diplomatic. The thing about Murph also, he's got the great voice that will play very well on TV if he wants to do that after his career.
That's right. The not all the umpires think he's so diplomatic, as we've seen this week, but
well, they may not be diplomatic with him. Alan Porter had some words that maybe he would prefer not have been shown on camera, for those who read lips. Zimmerman and Lynn to follow against Blevens in the 8th. And Murph gets under one to shallow right. Out goes Flores near the sidewall, and Bruce, and Flores drops the ball. It's a fair ball, and safe at first is Murphy. Well, Wilmer got there. He just couldn't catch it.
Well, that ball was in the seats, and then the wind kept taking it and bringing it back into play. That took Duda out of play. Bruce was not going to get there, and Wilmer had to make the play, but he did not. And Daniel Murphy did not run, so he only ends up with a single.
I think Bruce should have called off Wilmer. Don't you?
He definitely could have. He definitely could have. I think he thought Wilmer had it in his back pocket, but Wilmer went too deep and was working his way back.
Well,
too late, Murph.
well, Murph will get credit for a base hit on that, although it certainly could have been scored differently. Blevens will exit, And the Mets will bring in Paul Sewald to face Ryan Zimmerman. Called to the bullpen, brought to you by Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center. More science, less fear. We'll be right back. Paul Sewald will work for the second straight day after a scoreless inning last night.
Last night he gave up a double to Bryce Harper to start that inning. He got behind the 8-ball, but he got a couple of strikeouts to get out of that scoreless inning.
He'll come in to face Ryan Zimmerman, who's 0 for 3 today and 2 for 12 in the series. Murphy at first with nobody out, and a fastball strike to Zimmerman. So Murphy gets credit for a hit on that pop-up that fell off Flores' glove. 2 hits today for Murphy and 6 for 12 in the series. And the beat goes on. And a fastball on the corner, nicely done by Sewald to get ahead 0-2.
2 perfect pitches. See the outfield. See Bruce got to be deep because Zimmerman has some power there. Conforto very shallow to me in center field, a little over to right center on Zimmerman, who's shown great power this year.
Well, Sewald has worked him away in the first 2 pitches, keeps it away, and Zimmerman fouls it off. Seth Lugo went 6 2/3, allowed 7 hits, 4 runs, 3 earned, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts, 2 home runs. Blevens faced 2 batters, got Harper to end the 7th, and gave up the pop fly single to Murphy to start the 8th. And now Sewald trying to keep the Mets within range in this game. Two to Zimmerman with the left-hand hitter Adam Lind on deck. Nobody up in the Mets bullpen. This is Sewald's inning from here. I was wondering when the inning began whether Terry might let Blevens work through Zimmerman to get to Lind, but they might bat for Lind if he kept the lefty in the game, so that might negate that.
Yeah, I think Rayburn would bat for Lind, and he's good off the bench also.
And I think also, you know, Terry's trying to balance how badly he needs Blevens in the game against getting more appearances out of him by not overusing him within appearances.
Yeah, if he keeps him in to get through the inning, then maybe he loses him for tomorrow.
Sewald up in the count 1-2. It's off the plate. 2-2 to Zimmerman. Seventh pitch of the at bat, and Zimmerman strikes out on the sinker. One down. Seawald working very effectively to Zimmerman.
You know, he used all quadrants of the strike zone, up, away, and then finally threw one down and in, which got Zimmerman swinging.
So the Mets have done a pretty good job against Ryan Zimmerman, the league's leading hitter in this series. Is now 2 for 13. And now it's Lind, who's 0 for 3 today. Strikeout, 2 ground balls. Murphy at first and 1 out. And now 2-0 to Lind.
And Lind's one of those guys that you don't know about, but he's had a 35 home run season, driven in 114 when he was with Toronto. Michael Taylor on deck. He's got great power.
In the air, deep right field, back toward the corner. That ball is out of here. Into the Coca-Cola corner, the 6th home run of the year for Adam Lind. And that adds to the Nationals' lead. Their 3rd home run of the day makes it 6-2 Washington.
You know, we spent so much time in this series talking about the Mets and trying to get through the starters and get into the bullpen. But the one thing you have to do is your bullpen has to be perfect too, if you're going to catch up in a game that you're trailing.
Well, Seawald did a great job getting ahead of Zimmerman. Fell behind on Lind. 2-0 breaking ball in the middle of the plate, and Lind made no mistake.
Well, it's really been the story of 3 sliders, 2 from Lugo to Lobaton and Murphy, and that one to Lind.
The 8th home run for the Nationals in this series. They had 2 on Thursday night, 3 last night, and now 3 more tonight.
I mean, right in front of the dish, full extension, bat out front, head on the ball, and you knew it right away. So did he.
It was a Matt Stairs swing. On the outside corner, Taylor caught looking for the 2nd out.
You know what kind of swing he has? Brandon Moss.
Yeah.
He's got that kind of swing. Short stroke, left-hander, strong.
So 2 out, and now Jose Lobaton. Mentioned 8 home runs for the Nats in this series. If you go back to the last 2 games of the Cubs series, the Mets have now allowed 16 home runs in the last 5 games. In a ballpark where he used to not be able to hit home runs, and now everybody hits home runs. That right field corner has been especially inviting. Seawald back to getting ahead in the count, 0-2 to Lobaton. Lobaton hit a home run in the 2nd inning, his 2nd of the year. Both have come against the Mets. He's also walked and singled, so he's 2 for 2. His first multiple hit game of the season. Pops this one up. Reynolds into foul territory. And he makes the grab to end the inning. But Adam Lind's 2-run homer puts a damper on things for the Mets. 6-2 Washington going to the bottom of the 8th. sales event going on now. Double switch for the Nationals. Brian Goodwin will play left field and bat ninth. And the new pitcher Joe Blanton will hit sixth in the order.
Well, look at the note. First batter faced. And the first batter he faced in this series, Wilmer Flores, took him deep. I mean, those ERAs are for real, folks.
Blanton finished up the Nationals win in the opening game of the series Thursday night after giving up that home run to Flores. He retired the next 4 batters. And so, as was the case heading into the last couple of innings in the first 2 games of the series, now the Nationals bullpen has a cushion to work with.
A cushion and again, you know, a more difficult play, but a play that still should have been made on the pop-up by Murphy.
Cespedes is 3 for 3 today. Bruce, who's on deck, is also 3 for 3. They'll try and get something started against Blanton in the 8th. First pitch breaking ball for a strike.
Well, Blanton started his career in Oakland as a starter, moved around, struggled a little bit with the Phillies and other teams. 2 years ago went into the bullpen, and last year had 2 years ago had a magical year with the Dodgers.
He's never struggled against Cespedes. Yoenis is 0 for 10 against Joe Blanton. And down to the count 0-2. Blanton now 36 years old. Came out of the University of Kentucky. First round pick by the A's. We saw a lot of him in a Phillies uniform. Steven Strasburg went 5 1/3 today, left after allowing 2 runs and 5 hits. Blake Trinan worked an inning and a third, no runs, 1 hit. Matt Grace faced 1 batter, retired Conforto to end the 7th. Nats then extended their lead on the 2-run Adam Lind home run to make it 6-2. Cespedes gets ahead of 1 and yanks it foul. .110 miles an hour. Foul ball. Andy Romero, the left-hander, up in the Nats bullpen. Let's go right left in this inning. Cespedes, Bruce, Flores, Duda. The 0 for 10 for Cespedes against Blanton is his worst 0 for against any pitcher. Two coming. Fouled off. The next highest 0 for he has is 0 for 9 against Matt Latos.
Really?
Probably not the 2 most likely figures you would have thought would have been on Cespedes' enemies list. 7th pitch of the at-bat coming from Blanton. And it's too high, full count. Well, Cespedes and Bruce have both been seeing the ball incredibly well today. They both had great at-bats against Strasburg. Teammates, not so much. 6 hits between the 2 of them, 1 hit for the rest of the team. 3-2.
Rocket deep left field, down the line, got it, but stays fair. It's out of here. Yoenis Cespedes kept it inside the foul pole, up toward the Porsche Grill. His 8th home run of the year to get the Mets a little closer. It's now 6-3. His 4th hit of the day. You sure he needs the day off tomorrow?
I was just thinking of Blanton, of the numbers we read. He should just throw the ball over the wall when he comes in. No chance. 6 homers. First batter faced.
Gave up the home run to Flores on Thursday night, first batter. And here's Cespedes, his first hit ever against Blanton, and he takes one out of the yard.
Cespedes with 4 hits, 3 runs scored, an RBI, a home run, and the Mets trail by 3.
Now Now Bruce, who's 3 for 3.
Breaking ball, always been a great breaking ball hitter. He got a pitch that was a little farther in that he pulled foul. This one caught more of the plate.
It is amazing, those first batter numbers against Blanton. I mean, it's got to be almost a psychological thing at this point as Bruce rolls one into the shift. And Murphy takes care of it for the first out. First time Bruce has been retired tonight.
See, the only issue you have when your bullpen struggles is that when Cespedes leads off with a home run, everyone on the team goes, oh, here we go again. You know, and you start to get in that pattern.
Well, it's just a few days ago that those anonymous quotes started coming out of the Nationals clubhouse. And, I mean, to be honest, Dusty Baker very publicly said, we need to get help. You know, it sounded the alarm for the front office to hear. Flores carves one foul.
And it's so interesting to hear a manager say that in this day and age because they just don't anymore. Usually the response is, hey, my job is on the field. Talk to the other people that are in charge of the other stuff.
Right. Got to make the people I have better.
Yeah.
It's my job. 1-1 to Flores, who drove in a run with a sacrifice fly in the 6th. He's also grounded into 2 double plays today. Mets have been down from the outset again. That's been the pattern. Trey Turner led off the game with a home run, and that's built a 4-0 lead, and they've never been headed. Flores lines a base hit. So the Mets have their second hit of the inning against Blanton. A 1-out base runner with Lucas Duda coming up. And here comes Dusty Baker out of the dugout as you watch the Flores base hit.
I mean, good news, Dusty's lost 16 pounds this year from the walking alone.
Andy Romero, the left-hander, is coming in. Blanton takes his exit. Mets try to keep it going against the Nats bullpen. Call to the bullpen brought to you by Memorial Sloan Kettering Center. More science, less fear. Company to Citi Field Saturday, June 24th. Original Grateful Dead members are united with an all-star cast, including John Mayer. For tickets, visit Mets.com/dead-and-company. Are throwing Andy Romero into pitch for the Nats.
Acquired by the Nationals right before spring training from the Tampa Bay Rays. Throws as hard as any left-hander in the game.
Comes in to face Lucas Duda, who's been on base twice with a hit by pitch and a walk. Flores at first and 1 out. And a fastball strike to Duda. Pitcher spot is due up next for the Mets. Travis d'Arnaud has come out on deck to pinch hit. Nobody up in the Nats bullpen behind Romero. Mets need one more base runner to get the tying run to the plate in the 8th inning. And the fastball low, 1-1. Strasburg started. Trinan, Grace, Blanton, and now Romero. Blanton gave up the home run to Cespedes to get the Mets a little closer here in the 8th. And Duda watches outside, 2-1. Mets saw a lot of Romero earlier this year, but Duda was hurt. So this is his first ever at bat against Romero. Addison Reed up in the Mets bullpen, hoping the Mets can rally before he comes on in the 9th. 2-1 to Lucas. And he fouls off the fastball at 98 miles an hour.
98 in on his hands.
Two coming, and Lucas checks his swing on a pitch outside, and it's a full count. 99 from Romero off the corner, and now Lucas has worked the count to 3-2. Flores aboard with 1 out, not likely to be going anywhere. 3-2 from Romero. And Lucas hits one out to center field. Taylor's right there. 2 out. Out of town scores brought to you by your local tri-state Volkswagen dealers. Kyle Freeland, the Denver native, another good start for the Rockies, who are now 19 games over 500. Diamondbacks and Phillies tied up in the 7th. Yasiel Puig getting 8th in the order, has 2 home runs today for the Dodgers. The Marlins, who have won 13 of their last 18, lead again today. We talked about Tyler Moore earlier.
That's right.
Home run for the Marlins today. So Romero gets his first man. Mike Maddox, the pitching coach, out to talk to him before he faces Travis d'Arnaud. Terry does not often use his backup catcher unless he absolutely has to. Here he has another right-hand bat available with Gavin Cecchini, but he's going to d'Arnaud instead. Travis went 0 for 3 last night, hitless in his last 10 at bats, facing the hard throwing Romero, and it's well outside for ball 1. If d'Arnaud can keep the inning going, Jose Reyes would be next. d'Arnaud batting for Paul Sewall in the 6th spot in the batting order. Flores at first and 2 out. And Travis fouls back the fastball, and Romero really doing nothing but throwing heat.
Doesn't need to. Ball has such life on it. Struggles with control at times.
Surprises me when I look at Romero's numbers. He's given up almost as many hits as innings pitched, and you would think a guy with his kind of arm would not.
It just shows you that if the guys know that you're throwing majority of fastballs, they'll turn it up a little bit.
He's ahead in the count on d'Arnaud, 1-2. Just joining us and are wondering about the uniforms, every team in baseball is wearing these blue tinted uniforms for Father's Day weekend. They'll use them again tomorrow. tomorrow, they will use the blue stitched baseball as well.
I got to get one of those. Get one in the booth.
It's going to be a Bobby Vinton kind of day. Blue on blue.
Or if you're not seeing the ball well, a Linda Ronstadt day. Blue by you.
Or a Bob Dylan day, tangled up in blue. Darno hanging in there. That's when you get into a beef with the umpire. Tangled up in blue.
That's right. So Madden got thrown out. 3 pitches into the game.
First batter. 7th pitch of the at bat coming to Darno. And Travis fouls back another fastball. It's all fastballs away, and Romero looking for that out pitch. And Travis staying alive. Again, the 2-2. Inside, full count. So Darno quickly fell behind in this at bat, has fought his way to 3-2. Zimmerman tells Romero he'll play behind Flores at first. He'll be running. 9th pitch of the at bat coming to Darno. And Travis laces one to center field for a base hit. Flores will go first to third. What a pinch hit at bat for Travis Darno, and the Mets will get the tying run to bat here in the bottom of the 8th.
Everything away, and finally Travis caught up to one. Supposed to be in, but running away. Didn't catch all of it, but caught enough. And when we're running on the pitch, goes first to third.
So now a chance for Jose Reyes with 1st and 3rd and 2 out. Reyes had an infield single his last time up. He's also drawn a walk, 1 for 2 on the day. Tying run at the plate in a 6-3 game. Jose has 4 home runs, including 1 in this series. He has 1 home run this year as a right-hand batter.
First pitch swinging, lines one to the left for a base hit. That'll bring in Flores. Stopping at second is Darno. Jose Reyes with an RBI single. And now the Mets on the tying runs on base. It's 6-4.
Well, how they've been getting Reyes out from the right side is with breaking balls. Romero doesn't throw any, or throws very little of them. So Reyes jumped all over that first pitch fastball.
So now the Mets have the tying runs on base. Rene Rivera the batter. Now you could bat for Rene because you've already brought Darno into the game, but you've got 3 players left on the bench. 2 of them are left-handed. The other is Gavin Cecchini. So they leave Rivera in to hit for himself.
Well, remember, he has a home run in this series. This is what you're looking for right now.
Matt Albers quickly to work in the Washington bullpen. He's been closing games lately for Washington. Rivera's been up 3 times, struck out all 3, twice against Strasburg, once against Trinan. And he fouls back the fastball from Romero, and it's 1-1. See Rene flexing his thumb there. He's got that thumb guard on.
Well, he hasn't been able to get the pitches to get the ball down. Get 1 down in the zone from Romero, who's doesn't really have the art of pitching down. He's just throwing as hard as he can, trying to throw it by the hitters.
He's given up back-to-back hits to Darno and Reyes. And Rivera takes a big cut at a fastball. 1-2.
99.
Rivera's home run in this series went to right center field. That might be a good thought for him right now. 2 on, 2 out. And Rene takes it high, 2-2.
Laid off that one. Good going.
Matt Reynolds hitting ninth in the order. He would be next. Let's have 2 runs home here in the 8th. Both runs charged to Blanton. Rivera trying to put the inning to bed. 2 out, 2 on, 2-2 to Rivera. And he fouls back the fastball at 98.
It was a good swing. He was on that one. Fouled straight back.
Lobaton and Romero. Again, the 2-2. Struck him out. Inning over. First time in Rene Rivera's career he has gone for the golden sombrero. His 4th strikeout of the day. Mets get 2 to get closer. Cespedes with a home run. Reyes an RBI hit. 6-4 Washington going to the 9th. Today, join the award-winning Pix 11 news team with breaking news, traffic, and sports, plus the latest weather reports to keep you in the know. Mornings from 5 to 9 on the Pix 11 Morning News, New York's very own. Play of the game brought to you by Spectrum. Get the Spectrum triple play today. This is the difference in the game right now. And Lind, a 2-run homer off Paul Sewald in the 8th inning. It put the Nats up 6-2. It's now 6-4. And Addison Reed is going to pitch the 9th inning with the Mets 2 runs down. Travis d'Arnaud stays in to catch. So Reed will hit 8th in the order.
I guess the thinking here is keep just the 2-run deficit to have your closer in there for the day game tomorrow.
Reed hasn't pitched since Wednesday night against the Cubs. Ryan Goodwin hitting 9th in the order comes up for the first time. First pitch swinging and fouls one off. Goodwin started the opening game of the series, had a couple of doubles. He's 2 for 6 in this series so far. Inside to Goodwin, 1-1. Trey Turner on deck, then Anthony Rendon if anybody gets on Bryce Harper for the Nationals in the top of the 9th. Seth Lugo is on the hook in this game. Allowed 4 runs, 3 earned over 6 2/3. And a slider in for a strike to Goodwin, 1-2. The Nationals have hit 3 home runs for the 2nd straight day. Two and 2 to Goodwin. Turner got Got the afternoon started. Second pitch, Seth Lugo threw. He hit out of the ballpark. Off the corner, 3-2 to Goodwin. 3 times this week the Mets have given up a leadoff home run here at Citi Field. Twice Anthony Rizzo and Trey Turner today. 3-2 from Reed, and Goodwin hits it sharply but right at Flores, and Wilmer makes the play, 1 out. After we're done here, coming up on Picks 11, it's Pawn Stars, and on SNY it's WB Mason post game live. No need for enunciation there.
That's why we give you the big seat, Karen. Well, we give you. That's why you have the big seat. We didn't give you anything.
People need to know how much room we have in our booth today when it's just you and me. I think we've mentioned this before. When Keith and Ron are both here, Ronnie sits in the middle and Keith sits next to the wall.
That's right.
When it's just me and Keith, Keith comes all the way over here and sits in your spot. When you're here and Keith's not, you move all the way into Keith's spot.
I'm kind of a wallflower in the corner kind of guy. Always have been.
So it's a much roomier situation.
Well, I think it's easier for you and I to speak if I'm here, not all up in your business.
Just think it. So it's good to be able to breathe. Keith, though, he likes to spread out, so he moves into your spot, so he's able to use both your spot and his spot. And now with his ice machine, that becomes more and more necessary.
Carries a refrigerator with him everywhere. Well, what's interesting is before the game, because Keith likes to spread out, I usually get prepared in the lunchroom.
Right.
And because he'll take up 2 spots easily.
Turner hits one past the mound, and that'll go into center field for a base hit. Second hit of the day for Turner, and he's aboard with 1 out.
Now this is where you'll see the running game come into play. Reed tries to get it with his foot, but does not. And the Nationals is going to try to play to steal or add an extra run on.
Turner with 22 stolen bases this year, 3rd in the National League. Rendon, the batter, has singled and walked today, 1 for 3. Reed has not had a stolen base attempt against him this year. And the fastball beats Rendon, 0-1. Remember, you got Darno behind the plate now after Rivera started the game. Rene threw out Turner in the 4th inning. Turner got a terrible jump on that stolen base.
Yeah, I don't
attempt.
think it was a delayed steal. He just got a bad jump and then never stopped and came back.
He got a walking lead that time, but did not go, and Rendon fouls it off, and it's 0-2. And I think part of it is Reed is just so quick to the plate. It's hard for Turner to get a read on him.
He varies too how he goes to the plate. Quickly sometimes. Sometimes he takes a long time. So that's the veteran in Addison Reed.
Head on Rendon, 0-2 with Harper on deck. And a check in on Turner.
You know, pitching not only is upsetting the timing of hitters, it's upsetting the timing of guys that are on base. So Reed does that better than most.
Rendon just 2 for 12 against Addison Reed.
Good pitch out here.
Fouled away. Mets will be heading to the West Coast after tomorrow's game. The Yankees are on the West Coast right now, and they're finding the going pretty rough. They lost again today, 5-2 to Oakland. That's 5 straight losses for the Yankees. They started the day just a game in front of the Red Sox. 0-2 to Rendon. Drill down the left field line toward the corner. Foul. Just foul. I mean, he barely missed the foul pole.
Dropped in that little box there. Curving, Looked like it had a chance to hit the pole, and just that little area hits the top of the fence and drops in that little area left of the foul pole.
Is it raining? I believe it is. Had a lot of rain here early this afternoon. Stopped about an hour and a half before the game. So Reed can breathe again. Holds it a long time to try and freeze Turner. And finally Rendon asks for time. And Rendon hooks that one foul. Slider from Reed. That Oakland team can hit.
They can.
They're coming here later this year, right?
They have some young pitching. They can hit. Their defense is challenged.
Yeah. Ryan Healy 2 home runs today. That's just below the knees to Rendon, 1-2.
Yeah, they do come in here.
They just brought up a new third baseman, Matt Chapman, who had the game-winning hit for them last night. His first big league hit, a 2-run single in the 8th. It's a nice spot, right?
Right.
Put your team in front. Well, Turner has not made a move to run on the first 6 pitches of this at bat.
Got a big lead.
Not going. Fastball off the plate to Rendon, 2-2. Bryce Harper looming on deck. Eighth pitch of the at bat coming to Rendon, and he drives one toward the gap in right center field. That's down for an extra base hit. Turner racing to third. He's going to be waved home, and he will score easily on the double by Rendon. The Nationals tack on a run, and it's 7-4. Quite an at bat for Rendon after he fell behind 0-2. He drives in his 44th run of the year.
Well, he can go coast to coast. We saw him only just miss a home run to left field, and now he hits the gap in right center on a fastball away. Turner's going to score easily. I was wondering whether it would bounce and go over the fence, because his speed is top notch. He doesn't even look like he's running fast, folks, but he can fly.
Al Harper is 1 for 4 today. So every time the Mets creep closer and put themselves in position where they might be able to overcome the deficit against the beleaguered Washington bullpen, the Nationals offense, the best offense in the league, tacks on to make the task more challenging. 2-run homer by Lind in the 8th. Now an RBI double for Rendon in the 9th. And now Harper lifts one to left. Cespedes glides over. And that's the second out. And now you would think you would walk Murphy to pitch to Zimmerman.
Yes.
Murph already has 2 hits today. Zimmerman, the Mets have controlled in this series. And Dan Warthen's coming out to talk to Reed, so it does not appear as though Murph's going to get the intentional pass, unless that's a subject of the discussion. And now Terry Collins just did signal, I think.
I don't know.
I'm not sure. The home plate umpire Nick Lentz is not sure. Murph's not sure.
Zimmerman's 2 for 4 with 2 home runs off Addison Reed. Maybe that's why the indecision.
So have they granted the intentional walk or not? Terry's putting up 4 fingers as Warthen goes to the mound, and now they have confirmed that it is an intentional walk. So Murph gets the intentional walk for the Was that the third time in the last
Yes,
2 days?
Third time.
Murphy was 2 for 6 off Reed. Zimmerman 2 for 4 with a couple of home runs.
I would just judge by the way they're swinging in this series.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Zimmerman, who has had a fantastic season, has looked a little more human so far in these 3 games. 2 hits and 13 at bats. 0 for 4 today. So 2 on and 2 out. Fastball misses for ball 1.
I was just thinking, when you take in all the numbers, it's got to make you pause at least, right?
Sure. Well, especially with what Zimmerman has done all year. But if you're the Mets, you have to walk Murph when you can, right?
Yes, you do.
I mean, even his pop flies are becoming hits. And Zimmerman cranks one out to left. Did he get enough? Sussman is back on the warning track, and he has room to make the catch. A mile high from Zimmerman, just got under it, and Reed escapes with only the 1-run scoring. Mets come up in the bottom of the 9th, down 7-4. We haven't seen the top of the Empire State Building yet. We keep looking. It's lost. Please report it if you find it. Last of the 9th, Mets down 7-4. Speaking of Merck, Matt Reynolds up for the 2nd time, facing Enny Romero, who gave a couple of hits in the 8th, and that goes to the backstop, forcing Reynolds to skip out of the way. It is not necessarily Romero's game to save. Matt Albers stays busy in the bullpen for the Nats because Dusty Baker can take nothing for granted with this bullpen, which has already given up a couple of runs. And scored 2 in the 8th, but Rendon's RBI double, making it a 3-run lead. And now Romero behind 2-0. Michael Conforto on deck, then Yoenis Cespedes, and if anybody gets on, Jay Bruce. So the Mets have the right people up here in the last of the 9th. Romero behind 2-0 to Reynolds, and he takes a strike.
Just got to get the table setters on. That's the key.
And Cespedes and Bruce have 7 hits between them today. Cespedes 4 for 4 with a home run, and he will get an at bat here in the 9th. Reynolds hits one in the air to center field, but that's higher than it is deep. And Taylor's there to grab it. 1 out. So 1 out. Here's Conforto, who has continued to struggle today. 0 for 4. 0 for 8 in the series, 2 for his last 27. Mets came into this 4-game series with the Nationals 8.5 games behind, hoping at least to hold serve. But injuries, 2 straight losses, and now on the verge perhaps of a third.
Rare breaking ball from Romero.
And quickly 0-2 to Conforto. And Cespedes on deck, but he can't do much unless there's some traffic ahead of him. Another breaking ball, 1-2. Romero came in the 8th inning, threw nothing but fastballs, threw 22 pitches. Gave up a couple of hits, but struck out Rene Rivera with the tying runs on base. Conforto carves one to shallow left. Rendon out with Turner. In comes Goodwin, and it falls. A base hit for Conforto. So with 3 guys trying for it, Conforto found the space among them. His first hit of the day.
Rendon's like, how far do you want me to go? Watch how he looks down. Looks down there, see where he was, and he lost the ball. But boy, he had to go a long way. That's got to be Goodwin's ball in my estimation. I think he was running so long, he thought he was close to the edge. You got to use that warning track even in foul territory to alert you when you get close.
So now Cespedes, who's 4 for 4 today, he has one 5-hit game in his career. That came 2 years ago in Colorado, a game in which he hit 3 home runs. And if he can get on base, then Bruce would come up as the tying run.
Dusty came to the top step and then went back down.
Well, because he knows that Bruce is on deck. He doesn't want to bring Alvarez in with a chance to face Bruce in a game-winning situation.
But he was thinking about it. So he's confused too.
Right. Well,
not his fault.
I mean, it's hard for him to know who has what role in that bullpen because they've been scrambled all year long.
Yeah.
Alvarez ready if needed. Romero has 2 saves in his career. He's already up to 31 pitches. Conforto at first and 1 out. And Cespedes takes low and away 2-0. All Cespedes has to do is get on some way or other. Whether it's via a walk, a single, or a home run. That would get Bruce to the plate as the tying run. Swings and grounds a double play ball. Rendon to Murphy and on to first, and the Nationals have beaten the Mets for the 3rd straight day. Cespedes retired for the first time today, and it's a double play that ends the game. The Nats hit 3 more home runs. The Mets are now 11.5 games behind as Steven Strasburg gets the win, and the Nats win today 7-4.
Well, today the story is that the bullpen of the Nats and Dusty Baker was able to get 11 outs and keep that win for Steven Strasburg. Seth Lugo had a pretty good game today, 6 2/3, 3 earned runs, but it was the Mets bullpen that allowed the runs that made the difference.
Eddie Romero struggled at times, but went an inning and 2/3 to get his 2nd save of the year and the 3rd of his career. And the Washington Nationals have come into Citi Field and beaten the Mets for the 6th straight time this season. The game summary brought to you by Acura, precision crafted performance. Mets fall to 7 games under 500, 11.5 games out of first place. Big day for Cespedes despite that game-ending double play, but the Nats win it 7-4. New York Mets baseball is brought to you by Acura, precision crafted performance. By Fios. Fios is not cable. We're wired differently. Visit getfios.com. By Dunkin' Donuts. America runs on Dunkin'. By Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. By CheapoAir.com. Go to pix11.com/team travel for great deals on Mets away games. And by your Tri-Honda dealer. Hurry in for great deals on 2017 models. Final score this afternoon, the Nationals 7 and the Mets 4. Final game of this 4-game series tomorrow here on Pix 11. Jacob deGrom gets the start against Joe Ross. Our coverage begins tomorrow at 12:30 right here on Pix 11. Coming up on Pix 11, it's Pawn Stars, and on SNY it's WB Mason post-game live. Now for Ron Darling, Steve Gelbs, and our entire crew, I'm Gary Cohen at Citi Field. We'll see you tomorrow afternoon right here on Pix 11 for the final game of the series.